It's Friday night, so you know things are about to get freaky. Welcome to The Freak Show. Here are your hosts, JustinFREAKIN and a very special friend of Freakin.
Usually there'd be a very special friend of Freakin in that box right there. That box. NinetailsCosmicFox. She might be here, she might not. We may get a Cosmic Fox at some point in time. Apparently running a little bit late. So that's how things are going over here in my universe so far tonight. Not high enough for this shit. Let me go ahead. I'll flip over to where we can have the full camera here. Good evening. Good evening. I wasn't prepared for the opening theme to come in over just one camera. How is everybody? Good evening. It is the Friday Night Freak Show. We possibly will have Ninetails at some point in time, and she will react to some of the crazy things I have on the list here, including the fact that rapper Glowzilla didn't know foxes were real. I really wanted to get Ninetails' thoughts on the fact that Glowzilla didn't know that foxes were real. Negan, good evening. Clinically, RB. I guess we're just going to get high. We're going to wait on her. We'll see if she shows up. If not, maybe I'll just message the Media Wench. Be like, hey, Media Wench, come on. Winchy Poo pop on here. Or we can just do it myself. Not... One time doing the original Freak Show when I was back in college, like the third or fourth episode, everyone was fucking late. They all came in during the intro. And I was like, well, I was ready to do 4 hours of radio by myself. I would have. I can. I do 4 hours of a show pretty much every night on the Troll Patrol. So doing 4 hours tonight, not going to be a big deal. I do like to have a co-host just so like I don't have to work as hard on a Friday night. Shit. Smoke them if you got them though. Perfect freedom. Good evening. Cheers to you, my friend. Cheers. I don't really drink. I smoke. Yes, I loved me some Migos. I'm very sad about Takeoff. Takeoff is one of the most talented members of the group. Apparently one of the reasons why the group even exists. Live it like it's stir fry. Don't get the white boy rapping on the show. Mox, good evening. Apparently I like trap music, as the kids call it. So I like me some Migos. Good evening, good evening. We should be joined by NinetailsCosmicFox eventually this evening, possibly. Maybe I just say fuck it and start playing video games. My buddy was kind of upset with me last night. He wanted me to play We started playing Resident Evil before Halloween. Spooky game to play. Resident Evil 6. He had never played 5 and 6, so I told him, I was like, I own them. I'll play them with you. I played them like way back in the day. So here's one of the things about me and my memory is like, if it's been 10 years since I played a video game, which it has, like 5 and 6, it's been fucking over 10 years probably. I don't remember shit about it, so it's like playing a whole new video game. So it's been a fun experience going back and playing Resident Evil 6. Because I don't remember shit about it. But he'd never played it, so I was like, yeah, man, fucking like catch them on sale. Like usually they come like 5 and 6 in a pack, and you can catch them on sale and get them for like $10, I think he did, and like we'd been playing on Resident Evil 6. I've been meaning to. I saw like a before you buy on the expansion pack for Resident Evil 8. I haven't had a chance to check that out. See if the expansion pack is worth buying. I own Resident Evil 8. It was I think it was one of the first games I played on my PS5. I think it was like the first game I actually played. You know, like other than tinkering with like No Man's Sky or like Tetris Effect and shit. I think the first game I actually, you know, played on my PS5 was Resident Evil 8 when it came out. So I don't like tank controls, so I'd never played 1, 2, and 3, right? Until they came out with the remakes. I've played the remakes now. So the first Resident Evil game I ever played was 4, because I could not do tank control. I mean, I tried to play Resident Evil 1, fucking couldn't do it. Tried to play Resident Evil 2, couldn't do it. Tried to play Resident Evil 3, couldn't do it. Now, I played the remakes. Remakes are fantastic. Resident Evil 3 Remake was one of the ones that I threw out for the Halloween stream the other night. It was like, I feel like, you know, New Game Plus, I could bust it out on some Resident Evil 3. I don't know what AFK means, RB. I have to look this up every time. A lot of times the kids use this lingo. I don't know what you kids are saying. RB's over here like, I'm older than you, motherfucker. Away from keyboard. Oh, okay. You don't have to announce that. It's not ICQ. So there's like a generational thing with the way you speak on the internet, and I feel like it's manners. It is a manners thing. Like people younger than me look at the internet as like one fluid conversation that you don't have to tell people that, you know, hey, be right back. Hey, I'm away from my keyboard. Because we look at it as you will answer whenever you are available. Whereas people older than us have like some sort of like a leftover decorum that they feel like they need to tell people, like, hey, be right back, good night. You know, like I like the whole idea of it's a fluid conversation. I don't expect people to text me back immediately. I don't text people back immediately or chat people back immediately. I don't fucking chat people. Like, a lot of people get on to me for the fact, like, they'll try to, like, make small talk in messages and stuff, and, like, I just don't respond. And, like, if there's something pertinent, if we're working out plans for something, I'll respond. But, like, if you're just, like sending me a video, like, a lot of people, I guess they think they are doing me a favor by sending me news stories, because I am kind of a news aggregate for my stream. Chances are I've already seen your news story. chances are I've already seen it, bookmarked it, and you're the 5th person to send it to me. And I don't want to be rude or anything, you know, and I appreciate the fact that people see news stories like, oh, Justin needs to know about this, and they're thinking about me. That's really cool that they're thinking about me. But just like, I'm not a chit-chatter. I'm just not a chit-chatty person. I was never a talk on the phone person. I would just never just sit and talk. Like, if I called you, I had a reason. We're going to discuss the reason I called. We're making plans for something, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, all right, gonna let you go, bye. A lot of people like to chit-chat while they're in the car, and I'm like, no, I'm having a rock concert, or I'm listening to talk radio in the car. I don't really want to chit-chat as I'm in the car either. So I don't know. But that's just a me thing, right? So I had a boss one time, and he was trying to make a point to me, and he said, so you go, and I've told this story before, at least on the Troll Patrol. You sit down in a restaurant, you've got your whole family there, you got your grandparent, you got your kids, your wife is there, you got your aunt and uncle, blah, blah, blah. The waitress, you got 2 different waitresses. One comes up, the waitress is really personable, talking to you, draws in the coloring book with your kids, asks grandma about her sciatica, blah, 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 blah. But doesn't do a good job of refilling your drinks, bringing you your bread and everything. You know, she's passable service, but she was really personable. Or you have a waitress that is on top of everything, has your drinks right there, has your bread right there, make sure your order is correct. But she didn't say a word to you. She didn't ask how you were doing. She didn't ask how your grandmother was doing. She didn't pay any attention to your kids. Which one you give them the better tip? And I was like, the one that did her job and left me the fuck alone so I can have time with my family. And he was just like stunned by this, because he's like, no, I'm giving the better tip to the one that was personable and really took the time to ask us how we were doing. And I'm like, I'm there to enjoy my family or my friends or whoever I'm having conversation with. I hate it. Like, I will crack jokes at waiters and waitresses, and then they'll think that's their like door open, like they were a theater kid or something. That's their door open to sit there and do a routine. And like, no, get the fuck away from me. Well, I mean, like, autistic is a weird thing to like, it's a spectrum, and I'm sure I have traits, right? But that doesn't mean I'm full-blown autistic. Girl of the Gray, Ninetails, who's supposed to be my co-host tonight. I'm just killing time until she might show up. Well, I'm just bullshitting. I saw DM came in here and said something dumb, I'm sure. Oh, he's just being nice. Would you please stop talking about me being high, you dumb shit? I am indeed high, but I am far more intelligent than you are, far more well-spoken than you are. So I don't know why you bring up the fact that I'm high, you dumb shit. My God. So I worked with a guy at a TV station, and I wondered, because he was older, you know, he was in his 50s, maybe even 60 now. Simp, good evening. And I wondered if he was somewhere on the spectrum, because he did not understand, like, turns of phrases at all. And it came to be a problem. But, like, he took things incredibly literally. And I'm like, you're missing the joke. You don't get the witticism there. And I just, because apparently that is I don't want to call it it's a sign of being on the spectrum. I didn't want to call it a symptom. It's not a symptom. It is a marker. Interesting that because of Cuba, we might have figured out what that Tylenol. Countries that don't have Tylenol see like a 500% reduction in autism rates. Now, this is still, you know, early studies. There are a few lawsuits working their way through the courts. But that is a very interesting proposition. DM, I wish you would quit talking, like, intelligence isn't a thing that can be measured, and one, you're not very fucking smart. So I really wish you would stop having opinions on things. I'm not trying to dispute you that autistic people are intelligent, and they are. A lot of them are hyper intelligent in a specific field. And that doesn't mean they make a good president, you dumb shit. You want a well-rounded person, not somebody who is highly intelligent in one field and doesn't know anything about it. Like, that's a weird way to put it. Doesn't know anything, but isn't as accomplished in other fields. Yeah, it is a little ableist. I agree, Mox. And like that's what I don't want to otherize people with autism. And I don't want to act like it's a detriment. It's just another set of issue. We all have neurological issues. And it's just another set of hurdles that people... Hurdles is a weird way to put it, because it has advantages and disadvantages, just like every other mental state. That statement is just fucking weird to me, DM. Can you just shut up and be a normal person? And no one here is mocking and attacking anybody with autism. What the fuck is regular society? That's such a weird fucking... You're so goddamn dumb, dude. You piss me off. Because you say things that just like I had to teach fucking classes on sociology just to prove why that one fucking sentence is dumb. You're exacerbating. That's not the word I'm looking for. And I just, like, it's a Friday night. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to, this is not the Justin you're supposed to get on Friday nights. Are you here? How are you telling me to mic check you aren't here? Dude, I have had quite a bit of interaction with you over the last month. You haven't had a single goddamn point. You literally need to shut the fuck up and listen to other people because you're not bright. Exasperating. Is that the word I'm looking for? Ma'am, you're not supposed to be in Discord. Why are you in Discord? You're killing me, Smalls. Then I might have typed it wrong. You're a Discord. I might have typed it wrong. It's the Freak Show. It's the Freak Show. You're a towel. Oh. Wanna get high? Yes, I do. Hopefully we'll be getting high with Ninetails here in a second. Maybe. Fucking DM. Go get you somebody to get you high. Go tell a stoner that you've never smoked pot before, and they will rush to get you high. Oh my god, this motherfucker. Not you, Ninetails. DM. I swear to you, it's the Freak Show. Oh, Girl of the Gray, I might not have the stream elements up to where it like shows me the weed thing. I don't give a shit about anime, and I think you're one of the dumbest people I've ever met, and I fucking love Conure. So what in the fuck? Everybody's favorite femboy. God damn. I was getting ready to say I'm pretty sure that I was probably smoking anyway. I don't know how to change the fucking password on here or make sure that it's real, but I swear to you, it's Da Freak Show. Yes, that's the dude that wanted to audition for an anime without having any fucking resume, any talent. And then was like, oh, unions are bad because I can't audition for my favorite anime. Yes, that's exactly who it was. I don't fucking know what to do. Hold on, let me go back and I will look at messages I've sent other people and make sure that I got the password for my own show correct. The Freak Show. The Freak Show. That is the password. I sent you the guest link. Don't capitalize D. Maybe I capitalize D just because I'm used to capitalizing the first letter of shit. Maybe it's case sensitive. God damn, dude. Shut the fuck up. Like, you're not a voice actor. You have no fucking talent. That's why you can't get an audition. It has nothing to do with anybody gatekeeping. Everybody keeps telling you that. The producer Dave told you that. You're not a singer-songwriter. You're a dumb fuck. You wanted a role on one show. You're old enough to where your wants won't hurt you. That's what my mom used to say. Yes, he called into Dave. This dude is a complete fucking idiot. Hold on, Ninetails, you can probably already hear me, but I cannot hear you yet. We have to plug you in and get you on the screen before... And it was because I capitalized it. I'm sorry. I'm a dumb fuck. That's my fault. Ida, good evening. Yes, that dude again. Look, we have a lovely special guest co-host tonight. Ninetails, what's up? I am not getting audio from you.
I muted myself to be safe, but then...
There we are. I was like, oh no, not more problem. Good evening, my friend.
Good evening. It's good to finally make it on. 26 minutes later.
It's okay. I am notoriously late for a lot of things, so I really don't have room to talk. The only thing that I'm ever on time for is shit like this.
In my defense, I haven't streamed in forever, and every technical difficulty that could have happened happened.
That happens sometimes, and that was the first couple of episodes of the Freak Show where we were doing co-hosts. So fair enough, I can't hold that against you, but we have you now. Please, for the people who may not be familiar with who you are or just know you from chat, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm NinetailsCosmicFox, notable leftist, sometimes controversial, although I don't always agree for the right reasons. I started on the scene as a debater, and now I'd really like to go into more of a science communication kind of way of dealing with things, and more intellectual content, including covering the news and doing some podcasts. So look out for that.
Yeah, because drama on the Twitch is not fun. I'm not into it. Apparently it's what gets you views, but I'm not into it.
Everyone always accused me of doing it for clout, and I was like, no, I'm just kind of here and commenting on stuff. But like, I lost more followers on Twitter from commenting on drama than I gained. I guarantee you, because I said things that would piss off everyone's fans. Because it's very rare that both sides are right in Twitch drama.
I have seen some of your issues on Twitter, and some of it, like, I don't know what you guys are arguing about. I don't know where that started at. I love you both. I'm staying out of this.
That is the safer thing to do, and I've slowly learned that. And like, I'm autistic, so I learned it very slowly. But just stay out of it. Just stay out of it. Let it all boil over. And if anyone cares about your opinion, they'll ask.
Fair drama, hot tubs, and bikinis. I've thought about putting on a bikini for some, and it's not like I haven't shown my hairy tits multiple times on the show. It has not got me more views.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think mine would either.
Yours would, though. Yours would. You underestimate yourself.
They do get hairy, so there's that.
I wasn't expecting that. I love you, babe. So glad to have you on here. This is the first time we've actually chatted on camera like this.
Yeah, for sure. It's always been in like Ecoplex Media's chat or something.
Well, no, I've been in your chat back when you were streaming more often. And,
for sure.
And we've talked that way. You've been in my chat, but we've never actually talked face to face like this. Oh, she breaking out the bong.
Yeah, I smoke poppers though, so I'm like a dirty bitch.
Okay,
I put tobacco in it, and it's like goes pop. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, kind of like the way people do when they're smoking hookah. They put some tobacco, they put a little pod in it, maybe a little hashish on top.
This one, the bowl is actually just a straight tube, just a glass tube. You rip off a piece of the end of the cigarette, then you put weed on top.
Interesting.
That's why it pops.
I have not seen one like that. Hold it up to the camera.
Oh, God damn it. I might have problems with my headphone cord falling out, by the way. I'll try to fix it as soon as possible, but I like technical difficulties, like I said.
It is okay. We will work through them. I'm not going to hold them against you.
I'm just really glad that Windows is super responsive and immediately switches to my TV speakers, so that way you can immediately hear that my headphones fell out. Because that's what everyone wants to hear, is that echo.
It's just a little reverb. It's studio reverb. It's adding a little texture to the voices. Talking to you like a real sound tech over here. Ida, good evening. What?
By the way, hello everybody.
What kind of science content do you want to focus on?
Environmental sciences. I'm very passionate about climate issues. So yeah, that's basically it. I label myself, I kind of, for those who know Murray Bookchin, I consider myself to be a Bookchinian, so like a social ecologist. So that kind of puts me in the camp of communitarians, which I like to think are better than libertarians, but Okay, so speaking of libertarians, do you want to hear my announcement?
Okay, yes, you plugged an announcement here on the show, so yes, let's hear it. And apparently it has something to do with libertarians.
And I was going to ask you if you know this guy, but then I thought I'm going to surprise you too. So do you know who Mark Emery is?
I do not. I was really hoping you'd say Spike Cohen. That's like my arch nemesis.
Well, Mark Emery has slowly become my arch nemesis because he ran for the People's Party in Canada, which was the libertarian fascist right wing party.
Ooh.
One of the people here in my city actually threw stones at Trudeau. So that's funny. So
the Prince of Pot. That's who you're talking about.
Supposedly, although he was more that before it was legalized. Now that it's legalized, I find his name to be a little bit obsolete. Because if he's the Prince of Pot, I'm like the Queen of Pot. I smoke more weed than him easily.
Oh,
anyways,
yeah. You fit right into this community.
I have slowly massaged him into having a discussion with me. I've massaged his cranium very carefully, while not being too reverent. Like, I didn't like pander to him or anything like that. But I showed him that I can at least have a discussion with him, and now he wants to have a discussion with me on stream.
What I find with right-wingers is that you kind of have to suck up to them a little bit. You have to massage their egos. You have to baby them a little bit, and you gotta give them like some kind of you gotta give them props about something and try to like win them over, and then you can have a conversation with them. They won't just come at you on equal footing. You gotta massage the situation, as you said.
I did massage it. I didn't suck up to him, though. I very much, I was only in his replies on Twitter to disagree with him. So there was very little sucking up going on. And I think our most recent discussion was somehow more cordial. I don't even know why. But I am trying to be, less, bombastic and just, trying to rip people apart with one tweet, you know? So, maybe that helped. And I've noticed that his rhetoric has gone less extreme. Like, he's kind of thinking about what he's saying and trying not to be wrong. So that does make me want to talk to him, sort of.
So now, what kind of topics are you guys going to broach?
So the two that we're going to talk about on the first podcast, I'm assuming he's going to want to talk about back stuff after our first discussion. But the first two subjects are cannabis legalization and how it's been going in Canada, just to kind of break the ice. And then we're going to talk about trans issue. And unfortunately, he's a transphobe.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing is, I think I've already kind of pushed him a bit through my Twitter replies because he stopped replying to certain things where I made what I consider to be solid points. So we'll have to see. You know, it's one of those things where if he's not going to play ball, I'm just going to end the discussion and call him a fascist. So
I don't get this idea. Once again, trying to describe what right-wingers believe is impossible, but it seems like they think somehow trans people are getting special rights and that tramples on their rights somehow. I mean, that's the way they frame the argument, and I just don't know what evidence would support that in any way, shape, or form, and what world they live in.
Well, Mark's coming from the save the children angle. And so when we talk, I'm going to be like, Mark, I agree. We got to protect the children, and that any gender affirming treatment for children shouldn't be harmful to them. That's, relatively speaking, there shouldn't be unexpected effects and stuff like that. And then I'm just going to try to reassure him that it's not, that's not an issue.
They don't understand, with the idea of, a mastectomy and everything. There are cis young ladies that get mastectomies just because they're going to have, back problems later on in life. And it would be good to just go ahead and get it out of the way, and it's not going to fucking harm your back. There are the gender affirming care that trans children are getting is used in other ways already that legitimize it for this use. The puberty blockers, I don't remember what the condition is called.
Precocious puberty.
Yes, precocious puberty. And it's been used for decades to prevent that. And they just don't, these aren't experimental drugs. This isn't something that is new and scary. But their only exposure to these issues have been from reactionaries.
Well, I find it interesting because, like, when we treat precocious puberty, so one second, smoker's throat, when we treat precocious puberty, like, they're okay with that, and it's because what you're effectively saying is that this person must stay like the gender they were assigned as birth, and that to them isn't experimental. What's experimental is accepting trans people and doing things that affirm their gender. And so I really want to introduce to his audience the idea of normativity and ask, if you're a libertarian and a free thinker, why don't you think outside the box of gender norms? Why don't you think outside the box of people having to identify with their genitals?
Oh my God! You made an excellent point, especially to somebody with the libertarian bent, because they're always trying to get you to think outside the binary of the parties. That's such a perfect analogy, ma'am. Spot on.
Yeah, I'm thinking through what I'm going to say. There is no date set yet. I might have some issues with my internet next week, so not going to make any plans before I know for sure how that turns out. But after that, I'm also going to be interviewing Dylan Burns on Ukraine and a subsequent podcast when I can set that up and he has time. So I'm planning to do what I find to be very informative content, or at least something that the viewers want to see. And I think the thing about Mark Emery is he's also, like I said, he's been a candidate, local riding for the People's Party. And so for me, I think if he runs again, I want people in Canada to know where he stands, because if he doesn't change and he runs again, I think last time he got a pass for being a transphobe who ran, like the news here hardly gave him any credit for that. And, negative credit is what I was hoping for, not good credit. But
what year was it when he ran?
This is our last elections. I think 2020.
Okay.
Because Liberals, or Trudeau specifically, made like a spark election, and I forget how. I hate Canadian politics. It's too much like UK politics, and UK politics are gross.
Well, I mean, you see the way it is here in the US, though. You see our issues. Next week might be a little grim for us.
I'll try to be there on elections night. I'm going to also try to be at work more next week because I need to pay back my internet bill. So
Fair enough. I
don't have electricity bills or anything like that, but if I screw up my finances, my internet can just get lost. And I spend most of my waking time on the internet. If I'm not like doing social media, I'm like looking at research papers and stuff, because so what I do as an art is I try to make self-sustaining ecosystems. So you've probably seen like some products like that, like the BioOrb. I don't really like those.
That's what I was getting ready to say. You're a grower and a gardener, aren't you?
So I work in mycology with mushrooms, and we're doing kind of like an indie farm kind of deal, where or local farming kind of deal, where we're growing the mushrooms and selling them to local distributors and stuff like that. And those are gourmet mushrooms, by the way, not psychedelic. And that's really been inspiring for one thing. But I work more with ecology. So for me, I started with freshwater jars, and I would I started doing it kind of like a child, where you just throw stuff in it and close it and see what happens and hope for the best, right? Over the past, thank you, computer. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my computer decided. Oh, there goes my headphones too. So in the past 10 years, I've gone from that to fully understanding as well as I can. Like, we only know so much, but understanding as much as I can about what's actually happening in that jar, including in the soil and the microbes and the invertebrates and stuff like that, and the food webs and the complex ecological cycles that hold things together. Because I want to make systems that absolutely excel past like these BioOrb things and all these things. Oh God, what is? Oh, I'm Bill Gates. Is that what someone said?
No. Damn you, Bill Gates, because of your Windows noise.
Oh, okay. Damn you, Bill Gates. Okay.
But also, Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland in the U.S.
I have to mute myself and fix my cord. 1 sec.
Damn you, Bill Gates, for multiple reasons. Tech issues. It happens. I think we had them last week too. It was on my end last week.
And I'm back.
Welcome back. No, damn Bill Gates for multiple reasons.
But yeah, long story short, when I saw the biorbs and those stupid ecospheres with the shrimp in them that's not even made to last for 10 years, I wanted to make something that could last like 100 or 200 years because it's actually been planned and is more technical than these things.
You just went right over my head.
Do you know what I'm talking about with the biorbs? Or if you look up ecospheres,
I remember
they're basically
the Pauly Shore movie about biodomes.
Okay, so there's these glass decorations you could buy. There are these glass orbs you could buy as like decorations. You put them in the sun, and they have shrimp and like a stick in it. What's supposed to happen is algae's supposed to grow, the shrimp's supposed to eat it, and that's supposed to be like a very closed loop food web that it lives off of through multiple generations of
the little
shrimps.
seahorse things. Like this.
No, not brine shrimp.
You
can do this. No, like this was actual shrimp that were much easier to see, like the freshwater shrimp that you see in fish tanks often.
Oh, okay.
And so I think that they were slated to last about 20 years. And to me, that was just a shame because, like, from what I understand, even in like a small jar, there's enough potential for these things to last 100, 200 years if you set it up right. Mm-hmm. And they're just not doing that because they just want to sell these shrimp as soon as possible in the most aesthetically pleasing way.
Wait, shrimp can live to be like 100 years old?
No. They reproduce within the orb.
Oh, you're saying that the biosphere can go on
the
for
ecosystem.
Yeah.
And so that's my study, and I find it applies to pretty much any STEM field aside from astrophysics and like deep like theoretical quantum physics. It deals with some quantum physics, but I've had to learn it all just to come to where I'm at, and it's been a very rewarding journey. And I've just started using microscopes, which sounds like you've been doing this for 10 years and you haven't used a microscope. Well, like I was in mycology and I had a mentor who is a biochemical engineer, but since I wasn't working with this stuff directly, I just didn't have the stuff for it for a long time.
The fucking equipment is like the same way with me in broadcasting. Equipment is expensive.
Although I found that handheld, like portable microscopes have gotten really good. Like I have a 250 times one that just is amazing. It even has a UV LED on it, so I can look at stuff like under that perspective.
Well, hell yeah.
I don't want to nerd out too much.
That sounds like you could make a lot of video content on that. Like, have you already started one of your biomes?
Well, that's the thing is the ones that I have going, like I have this one called a granny system, which is actually about 7 years old, and it's been through like depletion. I've had to bring it back from depletion, and to describe all that stuff I don't think I could make a video on that easily.
The content that really is bangers on YouTube is like 4 fucking hours. Do it.
Oh no, I know. The thing is, I don't know the life history of this.
Oh,
because it's been through. There's been times where I don't even know exactly what the conditions it went through are. So it'd be more like if I ever dissect this, then I might get into like speculating what happened. Because I do have pictures and stuff from the various stages it was in between, like when I was watching it, but. There were times where I was homeless and I just had to give it to a friend, and then they put it on a balcony, and it's winter in Canada, so who knows what that did to the system. I know that I've also done some damage to it. I almost completely wiped it out once because I put it in too much direct sunlight.
Oh.
And because of that, I had to do surgery and remove a piece of brick that was releasing too much sulfur into the system. And that's actually how I just recently rescued it.
Wow. Okay. I think that would make good video content, but that's just me. That's me
if
thinking of it as a media person. Yeah.
I sometimes talk about it on Twitter, but if I had like had footage of me like leaving in the sun and what it looked like before and like the process of that, sure. The problem is I have a Raspberry Pi camera. This is like my mainstream camera, and I have a second backup. And if I do anything, I'd have to like not be working with the system to get like time lapses. And right now I'm working with everything that I have set up, and it's very hard to put things back so that way time lapses look, like a time lapse.
Yeah.
I've tried doing that here and there. Also, I'm just here we go again. I'm guessing I lost this too.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I did.
maybe.
No, maybe.
What is Windows doing to you exactly? Negan, I don't know that I'll be able to ask your question because I don't know that I can pronounce that word.
Oh, okay.
Polydariums? Polydariums?
Let me see if I can look at chat. I might not know that word. I have to bring you up and mute you and pause it so that way I don't drop my frames. Or I should just pause it. I don't need to mute you. Paludariums. Okay, so paludariums. So sort of. I have this moss system right here, and I have this, and they actually they rely on having a freshwater basin beneath them, whereas a lot of them just have like rocks as drainage. So there is a freshwater component to these moss systems here. I'll make sure you guys can get like a better view. Is that?
Yeah.
This one I just recently threw together, so it looks way nicer than it probably will once it grows out, and I need to trim it at some point. This one has been through several failures, but I'm bringing it back again because it's just observation and carefully responding. It's very zen. It's very much like a bonsai thing, and it brings me a lot of like inner peace as well to be able to work with this stuff.
Hell yeah. That sounds awesome. I've never had a bonsai tree. No, I had a girlfriend the crack whore girlfriend had a bonsai tree actually.
Oh, well, hopefully she was taking care of it.
Yeah, she was actually pretty good at that.
It depends on the species. Some species are just natural bonsais, and then all you have to do is...
It was one of those little mini ones. Like, she kept it on the counter and shit.
Okay.
I think like, there wasn't much care you had to give to it to keep it alive.
Yeah.
It was pretty resilient.
I've seen juniper, and it's almost like they chose like the tiniest juniper strain that they could find just for that, because my grandma had one and it like almost never grew. And I was like, how does it not grow? I don't understand. I still kind of don't understand. I'd love to start with bonsais, but I know you need like more particular tools and like a more precise setup than like with mosses. The cool thing about mosses actually is that if you were to have if you ever notice mosses growing on concrete, what they're doing actually is they're sequestering the carbon from the atmosphere, and that's eventually being turned into kind of like a soil beneath them. And eventually, if enough moss grows and then dies and then grows and then dies in the same place, a grass can grow. And then if enough grasses grow and die in the same place, a bush can grow. And then eventually you have a forest where there once was just like a concrete like parking lot that was abandoned. And this is called succession. And mosses are always one of the first steps in succession, if not algae or mycelium, mushroom mycelium.
Is it dependent on the type of moss?
Some mosses are better at it than others. Everything has to go wrong to me. And there goes my cord. And I'll be right. You know what? I'm just gonna do it like this. Just pull it out, put it back in. That seems to be what works.
I am sorry that you were having such a hard time.
Anyways, one of the best known mosses are actually sphagnum moss. If you've ever heard of peat moss and how that's used in gardens, that's because when it breaks down, it basically breaks down to what's known as humus, which is that top layer of the soil that's very rich and nutrient filled.
Have you ever come across any ligma moss?
No.
I fucked the joke up too, didn't I?
No, you got it. I sometimes I laugh more inside. I got it.
Like the how can I phrase that into ligma balls if it's ligma moss? Like,
well, the
sorry,
funny thing
simp.
Is there are moss
sorry,
balls.
simp.
There are moss balls that form in water in Japan in like a freshwater lake. See, now you're laughing and like I'm fixing my hair. It's like, oh crap, is he laughing because I'm fixing my hair? But I know it's not.
I'm laughing.
I'm just insecure.
I am laughing that I have no clue what you're talking about, but the chat is really into it, so I'm trying to facilitate a conversation about something I have no idea about.
I can just go.
But it's going well. It's going.
There's an interesting project I have, and if I ever do this, I will definitely make a YouTube video. So there are these moss balls that form in a freshwater lake in Japan. And the way that they form is that there are these waves that come up, and like there's a certain incline that the waves kind of like push them back and forth, and over time they become like these balls of moss. It's an aquatic moss, obviously. And so what I want to do is I want to make try to replicate it on a smaller scale, but also explore wave dynamics and fluid dynamics to figure out how to optimize it, even though it's smaller, because obviously the size of the lake is part of what's driving this. You've got all that coast and it can just keep going up and down and up and down. And there is a relationship between the depth of the water and the waves. So when you have like, you know, a lake that goes very deep all the way up to zero depth, the moss balls can pretty much settle. There we go again. The moss balls can settle in the place that's best for them. Now I can't find where the cord's supposed to go.
Wait, is it disconnecting your...
It's okay. So I have a really crappy cord. I've been living off of this for too long, and I'm a recluse, so I never get out to buy stuff. So every time it kind of jiggles around, Windows eventually says, "Fuck it, I don't understand this thing," and then just that happens.
Okay, this makes me sound really dumb. Do you guys not have Amazon in Canada?
I do.
I mean, I understand. Like, I try not to use them any. However, if you need a cord and you need to have it delivered to you.
So I was gonna order a new cord this month, but I ordered those handheld microscopes that I got, and somehow Amazon totally fucked me with the shipping and the eco fees, even though I tried my damn best to budget it out. So I have zero spending room for like a while, especially since I still have to pay my internet bill.
Amazon is good at fucking people over, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like to use Amazon.
I also can't get packages sent to my place, so I have to go to my friend's place, which is a little bit easier than going to the store, admittedly, but it's frustrating for him because he doesn't want people looking for packages.
Oh, man. So, see, that's one of the things that people in the United States don't understand how good they've got it with the U.S. Postal Service. And even if you order...
The U.S. still has a problem with it, so...
Oh, it does, but it's a manufactured problem.
I've seen Mark Rober. It's... I don't know. Like, there's definitely, like, a crime... What would you call it? An institution of crime around that, where, like, there's even an economy for, like, stolen packages now. But I don't think it's manufactured.
That doesn't have anything to do with the U.S. Postal Service and the way it operates, though.
Oh, I thought you said that, like, people's getting their packages stolen was manufactured.
Oh, no. The crisis with the U.S. Postal Service is manufactured by Republicans.
Right. Oh, totally, yeah.
So, that's, like, the U.S. Postal Service is like, you know, if you live in a rural area, you order something from Amazon, even if Amazon's using FedEx or UPS or whatever, like, they've got a contract with the Postal Service. Everybody in the United States can get their fucking mail, like, delivered to them. It's a blessing that people take for granted here in this country.
Yeah, Canada Post is pretty good up here too. Actually, I'm always half relieved when Amazon's like, we're shipping this through Canada Post, because sometimes like the times aren't really that great when they say they're going to be there. But whatever, what can you do? But on the other hand, like, it always works out. I never get like these stupid, like, they hold it somewhere and like I have to pay a fee. Actually, that happened once and I never actually got that package because I'm great at life. But generally speaking, it's just way less hassle when Canada Post handles things here.
See, I've never even heard of Canada Post. Is that your version of the post office, the government-run system? Hell yeah.
I like it. It's not half bad. It's does its job, and it does its job.
Do you guys, did you have a piffy little song when you were a kid about how, like, the mail was always on time? Rain, snow, or sunshine?
So knowing Canada, we did. No,
I did.
We did. I just don't know about it.
Okay,
Because,
fair
man,
enough.
Because here's the thing: is like having lived so close to America, I feel like that like rock star influence, like just to be like a superstar. And it's like, no, bitch, you're Canadian. Shut the fuck up. Like you don't live in LA, but like there's just some sort of like it's like osmosis where like you guys have such overflowing celebrity culture that here like we still have our random celebrities pop up. And that's how you guys got like Jordan Peterson and Lauren Southern and them, because they of course had to be appropriated by you guys.
You couldn't have. I fucking love Letterkenny. I fucking love Letterkenny. I love Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, Trailer Park Boys for sure, yeah.
Some 41 was Canadian. I was like, well, why didn't you pull out, Celine Dion or Bryan Adams or something? Why you got to go with Jordan Peterson?
Oh yeah, no, I was joking because it's obviously funny to imagine that you guys are appropriating our bigotry. But it obviously comes from American bigotry as well. So
Isn't Nickelback
column A, column B?
Is Nickelback Canadian as well?
I've heard your commentary on Nickelback. That is shameful. How can you listen to that?
Wait, what?
You said Nickelback is okay.
Have I? Because I have a whole story about seeing them live when they were first starting and how they pissed me off.
And I remember you telling that story too. I was working while you were talking about it on stream.
I will say that they have some alright, like, I like the pants around your feet. Like, that's...
I can't cover my ears. No, it's hard.
I'll take Nickelback over Creed, but I think both of them are pretty generic pop rock that I'm not really into.
The fact that you would pick one over the other at all is just that.
I really hate Creed. I really hate Scott Stapp, and I really hate Creed. And like my ex-best friend from high school, he was a pro wrestler, and he adopted the name Jason Creed because he liked Creed so much, and he was always playing Creed. And like, I just fucking hate Creed. So,
I only ever adopted nicknames online. I never okay, I had two nicknames. One of them that I tried to have in real life, one of them was Shoebox, because, funny story, I lived a lot in group homes growing up, and sometimes I'd wind up in public schools after not being in public schools, or I'd wind up living with my grandparents, and then that would be it'd be like a fish out of water kind of deal, right? And so one time I was in a public school after moving with my grandparents. So it's the first time I ever carried my own lunch to school, which I know this sounds bizarre because I was in grade fucking 8. And I walked to school and everything. And it was my first day. And they had lunch in a way I did not understand. So they went outside first and then came in and ate lunch. And so I was like, this doesn't make sense. I thought it was lunchtime. I'm just going to bring my lunch outside and eat it. And so just one kid, had to turn that into calling me lunchbox for some reason. And then so for some reason, I turned that into shoebox. I forget how exactly I got the kids to start calling me shoebox instead. But I thought that sounded cooler. So then Shoebox was the name for a while. And the other one was Rex, because my Facebook name was Stonersaurus Rex. And this was before I transitioned, by the way. And nobody wanted, so in school, everyone kept calling me Stonersaurus. They'd be like, hey, Stonersaurus, what's up? And I'd be like, don't call me that. Teacher's right there, I'm going to get searched for drugs. And
but
so
that's such an awesome nickname, though. That's a fantastic nickname.
But it can't be original. There has to be 50 other people with that nickname.
Fair enough.
So anyways, I slowly, again, convinced people to call me Rex instead, because then I wouldn't get in trouble if I ever tried bringing weed to school for us all to smoke.
See, I don't we smoked weed. I didn't smoke weed at school. I smoked weed on school field trips and shit. I was in speech and chorus and the real life glee. I was in the performing arts, show choir. And anytime we went on trips constantly, right? So we'd go on trips, we'd smoke some fucking weed. Look, the cool people would go, and we would be in one of our hotel rooms smoking weed. And it's I never did it at school. I remember somebody crushing a pill in their textbook and snorting it in school. That happened one time.
I remember one kid came into high school once and was like, he like sat down like this, and he's like, "Holy shit! I just drank so much codeine." Like he fell asleep in class. That kid. Okay, so he was a drummer in a band, and like oh, here we go. 1 second.
I feel like I've heard this story before, at least like 20 times. He was a drummer in a band.
It's like that Avril Lavigne song. He was a boy. But no, and so he always had like the funnest stories about drugs and sex. But he had like a steady relationship. So literally, he'd like sit down and like, oh man, last night my girl gave me head and it was so good. But then she came up and kissed me and I tasted my own cum, and like the taste wasn't bad, but it was the texture that really grossed me out. And like for the like I was still at a point in my life where I hadn't tasted my own or anybody else's. I wasn't that curious yet, but it got me thinking like, yeah, what does that shit taste like?
We're going here. We're like, dude, where's my sexual anarchy?
Yeah, no, I planned this out. It's all scripted.
Oh, already here we go. Already had it.
That's the wrong.
I might have to pack a new bong. I think I just cashed the other one out. But for everyone, Ninetails, you won't hear it, but you live in sexual anarchy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to annotate any of the things you put up for me, because I am not watching your screen. I'm not even watching my chat. Hello, anyone who's watching my stream.
DM
you're
wants to know what your favorite punk rock band is, but like I don't even listen to punk rock, so.
I don't think I can say it on Twitch, so MDC. Just type it into Google, type in MDC punk band, and you'll see what the name is.
I'm interested now. I'm not.
Like, I don't know, does Sode count? Does System of a Down count as punk? Because I really like their... They have punk influences, though. And I really appreciate that about them.
I mean, I like it. Okay, the name is based.
I'm not going to say it on Twitch, though.
Yeah, thank you. The Roughies are pretty cool. I will give them that. I'm familiar with the Roughies from Echoplex. Well,
yeah, my favorite song by them is John Wayne is a Nazi, or was a Nazi, actually.
Okay, so like my own cum does not do it like I'm kind of turned off about the idea of my own cum, but like everybody else's cum I want to taste. So like I mean I guess probably when I was a kid I probably tasted it at some point. Weird conversation. I'm into the cum play though. Like if somebody's gonna come, let's do something fun with it.
It's a weird like duality for me, where like, I obviously transition and I'm attracted to men, so I love giving head. And when I'm horny, like I want that cum, but as soon as I taste it, as soon as especially swallowing it, I just gag. And so it's really? Like, oh, I got it. It's like, oh, I got it. Oh, I got it.
Oh no, I totally swallow.
Like it's not that bad, and then, like overall, I kind of like the idea that I swallowed it afterwards, but still, it's like my brain doesn't like it. Like I think it's my brainstem is like that taste is just no.
Okay, like it's not as appealing to me after like. Because I'm definitely attracted to the feminine side of the spectrum. So if I'm with a guy like, and I've already came, like I'm not as excited about the idea of tasting their cum. So like I want them to come in my mouth before I get off.
Okay, since we're also going down this road, I will say this much: for those who have questions, I have answers. I'm very much like an ask me anything type person, actually, when it comes to my streams. But of course, I got to stay within TOS. But if anyone's ever wondered, yes, orgasming changes when you transition. So does like the libido, and you no longer have that drop off after the orgasm. But you can. It depends. Like you can still kind of orgasm the same way as you used to, but that's also not as fun. So you don't really want to.
The experience I've had with the trans women I've been with it takes them a lot longer to come, and it's not as big as like my load I'm going to be dropping on them.
Oh yeah, as far as load, sorry, I said come. I should also clarify it. Like, I orgasm now, and like the sort of things that like are hard to put into words without sounding kind of like cartoonish, but yeah, it's like I very much understand kind of like the female orgasm in a way that you could only understand if you felt it. And like I will say this much, like guys who listen probably do better in bed, like who listen to women's experiences and like what it feels like and what they like. Like you'll never understand what it's like until you go through it. It's something else entirely.
Well, don't be afraid to ask your partner what they're into and how to get them off, because nobody knows their bodies like they do.
And it's an evolving thing. Like everyone's body's changing. Everyone's learning about themselves over time. It's probably not until like your mid-30s that you really know what you want. And
she is totally correct about that. I did say load.
We're talking about circuitry, right?
Ass eating is fun. I eat ass.
Just for the advertisers, we're talking about circuitry and donkeys.
Were we talking about circuitry?
Well, I don't know. I don't want you to get demonetized.
I think I'm good. I mean, if I've come this far, and we're like 2.5 years into this streaming
if you've come this far?
Yeah. Let's get off this ramp.
Hey, we had our moment of sexual anarchy. Would Charlie Kirk be proud or upset? He'd be upset, right?
Upset, yeah.
Okay.
One of the last couple dudes I've hooked up with, they have totally been into like eating ass and getting their asses eaten, and they both had nice asses, so I was into it.
My problem is like I have a thing about fluids and particularly like fecal particulates. And if that gets anywhere near my mouth or my eyes, I'm just like, no. So like if someone were to do that to me, like then making outs off the table and then that have to be the last thing they do. And my partner, for some reason, it's just like, well, I really want to kiss you afterwards because I'll be super horny.
Yeah.
But you just ate my ass.
Yeah, well, I don't see an issue.
It's like I just can't do it.
Everybody is different.
It's a psychological thing, right? Like I can't turn off the fact that it's there, and the fact that it's there turns me off.
Everyone should be considerate and clean before that action is taken.
But what even is clean? Like I don't know. I feel like science does ruin some things. Like
well, okay, now you're getting into like what bacteria is on everything.
Well, no,
a lot of men beforehand.
I don't, but that's the thing is like what I do know is that there's always something left.
I just
and I'm not judging people who are into that. Like for people who can handle that, it's fine. But if it's like I don't know, it's maybe the same for people who like I'll describe it this way. I really like if you put a dab of mustard on something, I'm like the princess and the pea. I will taste it. It'll overpower all the other tastes, and I will want to take it out of my mouth immediately. I cannot handle yellow mustard.
Oh, yellow mustard is absolutely nasty.
I think I've been typing in chat, and you've responded with the same thing. I can sort of handle the other mustards a bit better, but I can still taste that mustard in there, and I'm just like, oh. So like it's.
Now I love a Dijon or a honey mustard or something, but like a plain yellow mustard is just the nastiest shit. I'm repulsed by it.
But get this, I've had hamburgers before with yellow mustard on them, and I'm like, this has a weird tangy kind of taste to it. Is there mayonnaise on it or something? And I ate it, and my grandma's like, wait, did you just eat mustard? And I was like, are there mustard on these? And because I didn't know there was mustard on it, for some reason I couldn't taste it as much. And that's the thing is like,
are you a picky eater?
Mustard. No.
Your hesitation.
Well, okay, so
if we're going to a
no,
restaurant, what's the chances that you're going to order something and you're going to ask for it to be some sort of change from the way it is on the menu?
that's not fair. That's so not fair.
It's like 100%, isn't it?
I can't eat wheat, barley, or rye, so that automatically knocks out half the thing on most menus.
I don't know.
It does. Talking from experience, by the way. I've ordered a lot of takeout as a recluse.
So
but
what is your favorite
I'm
meal?
not a pick. Sushi.
Sushi?
Yeah.
I thought didn't you just say rice? You weren't into rice?
No, I can't eat wheat, barley, and rye.
Oh, rye. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong on that. I was like rice. Okay,
No, that would suck because a lot of alternatives that I eat are made from rice, so that would knock out like a whole other category for me if rice was a
fucking sushi is one of my absolute favorite foods in the world. Like Sparkles and I used to go to a sushi / pad thai place. Oh my god, because we get a giant pad thai and split between the two of us. And then we would get, 2 or 3 different fucking rolls, and oh my god. Ugh. Sushi is one of my favorite fucking foods.
I could probably speed eat sushi just because, yeah, it's my favorite food as well. Not that my stomach can't handle speed eating though. I'm like a twig in my midsection, and so anything that goes through there, if I overeat, is like bad. But I did want to say I'm not a picky eater because I've dumpster dived. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that knocks me out of the picky eater category because I've eaten things that most people just wouldn't. Period. Even if they weren't picky eaters.
Fair enough.
But that being said, don't underestimate what you can find in a dumpster. I'm not saying go dumpster dive, but if you meet somebody who dumpster dives, don't think that they're just eating bullshit. Okay?
Oh no, I have met plenty of people. I have met people who didn't have to dumpster dive who go and dumpster dive because they're like, there's so much good shit in here.
And not
seriously,
even food sometimes, yeah.
And they would know which dumpsters to go to and shit. And like these people they weren't hard up for money or anything.
But one of the first political messages I ever started trying to spread, and I'm still trying to spread, is that if we understood how much food that's perfectly edible we wasted, that we're wasting right this second, versus how many homeless people there are, you would be far more disgusted than by the quality of food that you find in the trash. Sure, you find moldy oranges. Sure, you find milk that's really gross, and then you kind of gag, and then you lose your appetite, but then you find other good stuff, you put it in your bag, and you go eat it later. So, like, to me, it's almost a shame, especially when it's meat products, that stuff gets wasted. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, it's a shame that animal got killed, but how the hell can we waste that afterwards? That's even worse to me. And like, that's part of the reason, like, I never stopped being like a meat eater, because partially because of my gluten intolerance. It just opens up more options for me, kind of makes ordering food online easier too. But also because, like, at some point I might, like, if I ever get a car, I might go back to doing this and like I call it liberating food, because this shit's going to be wrapped up in plastic bags and like trapped in a landfill for how freaking long.
Well, it's
disgusting.
That's one of the reasons why I hate so much that like native culture was stamped out, because they had this way of not wasting and using all the different parts of the animal and shit, and we lost that with our bullshit capitalist mindset.
Well, yeah, part of it was like simply not taking what nature gives us for granted.
Yeah.
And I don't even think like that's necessarily a native thing. I think that's more of like just recognizing that we can't survive without everything, all of the wildlife that's going on around us. Like we wouldn't exist without it. We'd be wiped out, like probably by disease and like pollution within like 10 years. A lot of people, like when they walk in the forest, they see the trees, they're like, oh yeah, it's giving me oxygen. That's really cool. That forest, if you talk to somebody who thinks about ecology in terms of economics, and this is actually a branch of study called ecosystem services, they will tell you that there's a forest near my place called the Algonquin Forest. It's like, I think it's several hectares, or no, 70 hectares. Sorry, so it's pretty large. And
Whoa! What's a hectare?
I don't know. Big. It's 70 bigs.
Okay.
That's what matters.
Is it kind of like an acre in U.S.?
No, I think a hectare is 10 acres.
A hectare is 10 acres. Okay, so that's really fucking big.
Yeah, it's one of the largest forests around. And if you talk to most people who like specifically study ecoservices, they'll say that has to be at least worth like several $100 million, that forest alone. And
because
that's
of all the
what
biodiversity it's producing and cultivating.
Well, think about like cities, right? And how much dust we produce, and like when the wind goes through, it just kind of like streams through, and there's not a lot of like stuff to really like capture all that pollution. That's one of the main things that these forests do, is they provide kind of like a place for the air to circulate and for the dust to fall out of the air and for that to get trapped in the dirt, and then it becomes part of the food web again. Whereas if you were to replace that with a city, you just get more dust. So that's a big thing. Another thing is water cycling and the water table, making sure that the water table that's underneath your city is more pure and stable and doesn't fill up with like some sort of crappy bacteria, because the nutrients are being taken up by the nearby forests and like any forest within your city as well.
And that's one of the reasons why fracking is such an issue, because it's fucking dumping chemicals down into the water table and polluting the fucking water table.
And in order to frack anywhere, I'm pretty sure you have to knock out like a square kilometer of forest.
God damn.
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. It's a long time since I've heard that sort of factoid. So.
And we are at the point where we can't afford to lose any more forest, right? Like we
totally.
We need to not only be stopping the forest loss that we are experiencing, but trying to replant new forestation, correct?
Yeah, in fact, there's a certain kind of forest. So a lot of the patchy forest that you see in agricultural rural land that's left over from when they cleared all the forest that was around that, that forest used to be part of something called an interior forest. Interior forests, as far as microclimates go, are a lot different than the forests that surround them. So most forests are like, let's say like 100 feet in from the tree line, or sorry, 100 meters in. So that's approximately 330 feet in from the tree line. That's like regular forest. And then beyond that, if you can draw a circle with that border around it, that's all interior forest. And so the wind goes a lot slower in there. It's a lot cooler. It's a lot more humid. And that all contributes to a very unique set of biodiversity that you don't find in the exterior forest, or like the bordering forest.
Mm-hmm.
So, and these interior forests particularly need these bordering forests to create these interior climates. And so when we only have these patchy forests here and there, yeah, it's like some birds can, reproduce in there, but those are like your starlings and your crows and stuff like that, the stuff that are already adapted to as generalists. The interior forests allow birds and bugs that are specialists to reproduce and that kind of biodiversity. And when you think of specialists, think of like a niche, which is like an ecosystem that's. I'm explaining it. Don't laugh.
No. Apparently the chat is they don't like the starlings.
They aesthetically they make the worst sounds. They can be very annoying. One time I put birdseed on my balcony and some starlings picked up that it was there. Normally, and blue jays are bad as well, and I also attract those. But I kind of like the blue jays because they have interesting behavior. So, when the starlings came, there was like 20 of them on my balcony at once, and I swear to God, it woke me up. And I was ready to kill a bird. I didn't, but I was ready. I'm just kidding. I swear to God, I would never hurt an animal, but.
Okay, so the chat wants to hear what a starling sounds like. We're gonna pull up the video here.
The chattering is particularly interesting because it's you think they might be talking to each other.
Oh, it's the wrong fucking. Hold on one sec, guys.
Unacceptable.
That's the wrong one. There we go.
Oh, cool. I'm on a slant. I'm falling.
This is Starling?
No,
This isn't a Starling?
no.
Stella the Starling bird talking and whistling.
What do you think?
Either I have like absolutely batshit audio quality, or that's not a Starling.
It's hard to hear what it's saying.
Yeah.
Pet European Starling talking.
Alexa, play violin music. Here's a station. Violin music. Alexa, play violin music. Here's
Okay, that was a Starling.
What the fuck kind of noise is that?
Here's a
A
station.
Starling noise.
I got it. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay, I don't understand what this audio is. I really don't.
I think they're trying to mimic a radio or something.
But Starlings, I don't think can actually do that. I think that I don't know. I'm super confused. When there's a group of them, they'll make like those weird like radio noises almost. I don't know how to explain it. Put chattering. So that's pretty normal. But they do that when there's not as many Starlings as around.
I don't like the way it's looking at me. It's got like a greaser haircut going on.
Exactly. They look greasy as hell. They look like a cormorant. If you've ever seen one of those.
I have no clue.
Okay, we have a lot of them in our Great Lakes here. They're actually invasive here.
Look at that look on his face. I don't like you, buddy.
I think it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cute. Like if you took a screenshot, let me take a screenshot. Just keep it there, please. I can do it in like 5 seconds.
All right, do it.
I like its face. It's cute. It's angry, but it's cute. It's like
It looks angry, yes.
They're angry, but they're very flighty, so they never really do anything other than make annoying noises.
Find out what this cormorant. It's a fish assassin, apparently.
So they have been used to remediate lakes where fish populations have gotten out of control and they're not really, you can't really fish it, kind of deal.
Is it some kind of a duck?
Yeah, it's a waterfowl.
All right.
It dives under. It's related to the loon. I don't know how closely. I think there might be some more. They might have some other more common relatives, but that's where the diving behavior comes from. I've also been up north and seen common loons, by the way, and I've also seen them migrating south through here, so that's always been nice.
It's got a very pretty coat. Like those are very pretty feathers. We're all
And
a
that's
little
part of
loony.
That's part of keeping it, waterproof. So when it dives underneath, it basically stays dry. Hydrophobic.
Is that coming from your microphone?
I
don't think it is.
I don't
think
think
it's
so.
I think it's in my headset.
Because I don't have any monitor feedback. Yeah,
Huh.
but I can hear it as well.
Oh. Weird.
I don't have any audio playing.
Yeah, it's we've had some issues tonight. It could possibly be in my head.
It's not in your head. I can hear it too.
Everybody hears it. And this is like I thought the Halloween episode was over. The haunting has not gone away.
Wait, my chat can't hear you? Okay, apparently audio output capture means fuck all on OBS. So this is another VOD I've toasted on my own.
Oh wait, what? Oh,
Yeah.
were you streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I would have had the chat shouting you out. I should have had the chat shouting you out anyway.
Yeah, mods get on it. What the fuck?
Your Twitch is in the description. I did do that. It's in all our heads.
Hashtag mod check.
Can you move a cord around and see if quite possibly we can get rid of it? Huh, is it over here on my end? Am I doing something? Huh.
Welcome to the Friday Night Freak Show, brought to you by Moore's Law.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on. No, the baby has been asleep for hours. The baby hasn't even made a peep.
By the way, Justin, speaking
Yes.
of technical audio difficulties, do you make music?
No, I have no rhythm. I can't. I tried my. This is a subject. Okay, so like, I took piano lessons for 8 years. Cannot fucking play the piano. Was in the band. Was in the band. Played saxophone. Can't play the fucking saxophone.
Have you ever? Is it tone deafness? Maybe.
Shit! It was my microphone.
You even sound better now, by the way.
Yeah, because it was my microphone. That's wild. I didn't know. Thank you. And I was blaming it on Ninetails. I'm an asshole. You are doing a great job. This has been a fun time tonight. We have worked through many issues, but I'm glad you were here. We've learned a lot. Cancel JustinFREAKIN indeed.
Apparently the microphone's in on it.
It's like fucking Smokey gets up here and hits the bottom of it, and it's like it's kind of shorted out the bottom of the cord. Scolds me in Gay Dave's voice. Fair enough. It's been a long week for me. Anyway, Ninetails, what's up?
Not a whole lot.
How are you?
Did you have any news you wanted to cover? Because I do like commenting on the news, actually.
I had a few fucked up stories and different things that we could talk about if you wanted to.
Because that's how I am. I want some guilty pleasure news.
You want something to react to, is what you're saying.
Yeah, react stream.
I can pull something like that out. Matter of fact, I had one specifically for the fact that you were here on the show.
Oh, is it Brett Weinstein or Jordan Peterson?
Do you know who Glorilla is?
No.
Well, Glorilla is a rapper, and she admits that she didn't know that foxes were real.
Like, didn't know they exist, or?
I guess she thought they were like
fake?
mythical, kind of like unicorns. Let's see if we can actually hear this.
We've had people say that they hate foxes taking a poo in their garden. We've had people say also
Foxes?
Foxes, yeah.
Which is a real thing, by the way, in the UK.
The animal
The
fox?
animal, yeah.
Y'all got them out here?
Yeah, have you not seen one yet? Come to South London, hun. Come to South London, we'll show you.
There's no.
They own the streets here.
Oh, I did it.
So they're like that.
Yeah, but just not
Sorry.
But just not domesticated.
find some really weird British people who will pet a fox.
So
Graphics
y'all not
definitely
scared
do.
of 'em?
They howl at night as well. So like you're trying to go to bed and at 2 a.m. it's outside. You don't get foxes.
So they orange.
They are orange with.
So they're orange.
I can't believe it.
I know. I can't believe that you can't believe it.
I can't believe it. Never even knew foxes was real.
Never even knew foxes were real.
And she's like in a different country, right? So like that's like going to a different country and being like, oh yeah, like have
We
you heard
have
about how-"
foxes in the U.S.
But if you only live in the city, you might never ever see one.
That's very true. That's very true. But
In the
wouldn't
UK, they have urban foxes.
But wouldn't you know that foxes are a real thing, though? Wouldn't you have learned about it in school?
Well, school never really does a thing on foxes.
There
right?
is
So,
no
like,
fucking Rhode Island. Stop telling me that Rhode Island's a real thing. I will never fucking believe. Ninetails, have you been to Rhode Island?
No, I've only been to Sanibel Island.
Have you ever met anybody that's been to Rhode Island? Have you?
Oh, it's. I've heard about it from Family Guy. That's real, right?
No. Rhode Island is a fictional place from Family Guy. For sure, Wrong's telling me they live in Rhode Island. I don't believe it.
But I was laughing because like I can imagine it's like going to a different country and then being like, oh yeah, have you heard about the dragons pissing in everyone's yard? It's like, what?
But we have foxes in the U.S. You have foxes in Canada, right?
Yes, we do. All the way up to the Arctic, apparently.
And like aren't some dogs domesticated foxes?
No.
No, it's just like they all descended from wolves. What's the difference between a wolf and a fox?
They split off in a more common canine ancestor. So foxes actually are interesting because they have several coevolutionary similarities with cats. So they have retractable claws. They have the eyes that allow them to see at night. And I can't remember the third thing because my brain can't list off stuff very well, but they also have a third thing that makes them very similar to cats. I think it's the thumb. They have like the weird, like their thumb thing is more similar to a cat's than a dog's.
So what's the difference between a coyote and a wolf and a fox?
Oh, interestingly enough, the difference between coyote and wolf is not much. In fact, you can hybridize the two. London, Ontario, where I am, has coy wolves, which are a hybrid species.
Are they pretty?
I think they are.
I think-
They're skinnier. I think wolves are prettier because they're a little bit. They look, more powerful, more like a lion versus like a cheetah kind of deal. They're both pretty in their own way.
Fair enough. So I actually wanted to ask you, like, where did your name come from? Does it have a special meaning? Is this a long story?
So let's give this simple answer first. I'm basically an otherkin, so think about the furry without the fursuit kind of deal. And I identify as a fox, even though I still identify as human. It's just like there's kind of like separate identities that, to me, I'm always trying to make coexist. But I also kind of identify as less than human in certain ways. Like I always feel like overburdened by people's expectation for me to be like extra human, like more human than I really am. So it's still not the easiest answer. The more complicated answer is Japanese folklore.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay, there we go. I kind of thought you were getting at the fact that you were feral or something. Like we've got a halfway domesticated cosmic fox here.
I mean, in bed, yeah. And like that's the thing is like there's a part of me, like either I'm really in touch with my subconscious, which
you live in sexual anarchy.
I saw it. I see it this time. But the other thing is that like I've always felt like I have to fake being human. I really have. And that's probably just my neurodivergence, if we're being honest. But like,
I mean, I can understand.
It's never fully come natural to me. Like I enjoy people and I enjoy talking to people, so I do it, and it's worth it. It's not to say that I don't enjoy it, but it's never come naturally to me. I can never take like a conversation for granted or anything like that. I kind of have to like process it step by step with like what I feel like is more focused than what most people have to do. And then everyone has like all like even natural charisma that like that's just like that would take processing power I don't have.
Humaning is hard. I agree. And it's so wild how society rewards certain personality types. Like a lot of like, and there's even fucking phrases like it's not what you know, it's who you know. And like you grow up with that ingrained in you, and it is really about, you know, who has charisma. If you look at CEOs and politicians, it's because they have this magnetic charisma to them.
Yeah, I'm personally so I'm trying to start a new tent in the left that's less about optics and less about popularity and like getting as many followers as possible, and I'm calling it the intellectual dark left, because I actually don't think the optics game is worth playing. A, because there's already so many people playing it, and B, because it kind of forces us to play this all like the same game, and we've lost a lot of like actual, like as leftists at least, I don't know how leftist you really are, Justin, but as a leftist, I feel like we've lost a lot of like forward momentum and the ability to actually like critically examine issues with like theory.
Questioning my leftist credentials, ma'am?
I don't know. You're kind of holding the left hostage for donations with your advertisements.
Oh, my advertisements. I'm a broadcaster, though. This is like, if I wasn't doing this and trying to make a living at it, as well as, you know, my day job, making fucking media for people.
I need 5 seconds. Emergency. I have to go shut a window. Sorry.
Fair enough. I had a kitten, like, tickling my foot. Right in the Bezos. Kitten ran away.
Sorry, there's like literally people. Oh, and here we go with that now. There's like people cussing either from their balcony or from the ground up to the balconies.
They were cussing at you? What were they
saying? Not at me. No, not at me. I don't know. I was worried you were getting it through to your stream.
Oh no, I wasn't hearing anything.
My audience can handle it. They're a tough bunch.
Well, now I want to know. No. This is like you kind of spilled the tea, and I want to know what they like. Like, oh, you got drama going on out there? What are they saying?
Oh no. Okay, so the real drama was actually the other night. I was playing games with HK and Matt, particularly GTA, and so above me, one apartment above me, and like a few over, there was a stabbing. By the end of it all, but I kept hearing like this yelling and like people getting like thrown around and fighting and stuff, and it was clearly like a party. So I kept running out while we were playing games, like in the middle of like a GTA mission, just to like go like make sure like everyone's okay, because I don't know why, but if like I feel like someone's in danger, I have to at least go make sure they're okay. Otherwise I'm like gonna have anxiety attacks. So the only way to like kind of feel better is to go make sure there's nothing I can do to help, and then come back and then just take a breath. And first time I did that, I didn't really interact with anybody. I saw someone get chased out of an apartment, but I didn't see the person. I just saw everyone running down the stairs. So like that was something. And then like the second fight / brawl thing that happened, I had already called the cops, because at that point I knew something like a stabbing was going to happen, just from like past experience in this building and the escalation of things, and I was going to let them in. And so yeah, after security came down, after rushing up there, they said, oh yeah, someone's been stabbed, to the cop who was coming in. I was just standing there like, oh well, I'm glad I called the cops then, because someone really needed help.
Did they survive? Do you know? Do you have an update?
I don't talk to anyone in this building.
It didn't make the news? Like this? Like you didn't read about the stabbing in the newspaper?
Oh no! At this point, like a gunshot would probably make the news, but not a stabbing. That's pretty common in the area that I live.
Stabbings are pretty well. I mean, like there was we even covered it on the Troll Patrol, the stabbing that went on. What province was it? A couple months ago. Oh, you don't remember this? Like it was like on.
Was it a mass stabbing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't remember though.
There was like a manhunt over like 3 or 4 days.
Manitoba or Alberta?
I don't remember everything. I've been doing the Troll Patrol for 2.5 years now, and kind of like all the news stories are starting to run together.
The least you could do is remember Canadian geography.
And I'm the first to admit that when we get into covering shit in other countries, which I want to do, I want to be comprehensive. We get into covering shit in other countries, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I have the worst memory for geography because my particular issue or listing things, I always get stuck on the third or fourth thing, but also dates, names, and places. So particularly the names and places things always gets me because a lot of people seem to remember countries by like, you know, remembering them as some sort of name or some sort of like mnemonic. I can never say that. But like, I can't do that because that requires either listing something off or remembering a bunch of names. That doesn't work.
I feel like I could probably, like, if I had a blank map, there's like 194 countries or something like that. Maybe it's 240, something in that range is how many countries there are in the world. And I feel like I could probably name more than most on a map, but I would still, like, I would be lucky to get 50. Probably more in the 20 to 30, 40 maybe range.
Yeah, I'll interview people on geopolitics, but I'm not getting my hands in that. I've decided because I cannot handle that. I am a science girl.
I just covered the news. I read the news. I try to give my, you know, somewhat commentary, but it's more like I want to crack jokey jokes as opposed to give real in-depth. But sometimes I get fired up. Mainly I want to crack jokey jokes. Oh, you wanted to crack jokey jokes about the news. That's what you wanted to do.
I was actually going to ask, do you want to try a call for an uprising? Because he put out a new video.
Who? What?
So type in, let me get a link because he has a bunch of stupid channels and I have him in my subscription. So it's very easy just to fish it out, the right video.
We don't do politics here, ma'am, or we usually don't. What are you, what?
Okay, we don't have to do it. He's more religious though.
Well, I mean, do you have him saying like a short clip of him saying something stupid?
This is 4 minutes, and it won't take long. I guarantee you.
Okay.
So I've turned both Dave and Hannah Reloaded onto this guy because he is out there. I don't want to say anything ableist, but truly it's in I'm gonna send it in Discord. Truly, he's a character to say the least, and he keeps getting banned on YouTube and creating like new channels because he definitely thinks he's on a mission.
A mission
Believe
from
me.
God?
Yes.
Open your eyes.
That's the Blues Brothers.
If you are wondering why everything going on in the world feels so terribly off, then you have come to the right place.
Exactly, Zip.
It has been put over the eyes of humanity. Evil people in high places have been hiding the truth in plain sight and building a false reality online.
I mean, the production value's good.
He's gotten better. He used to just like talk. He used to just do like conscious streams over like pictures of articles and stuff. It was really annoying. He's also obsessed with celebrities. He's like a gossip monger.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show.
Okay, maybe he had somebody on like Fiverr make his intro for him.
Fake elections coming up. Order out of chaos comes.
Yes, here's the conscious stream.
The narrative, which I'm going to cover again later today. The narrative of rigged elections, but they're really just saying that people are trying to be elected.
He does guys like Jimmy Kimmel.
Destroying the democracy. If you're not caught up to what's going on, please make sure you subscribe to my new channel, A Time for Judgment.
Oh, you said it was 4 minutes and it's going to be
Censorship
mainly him plugging the shit.
Banning. So that is linked below. There's tons of new content. I have a ton of new content coming up. Really important stuff.
He doesn't get shadow banned. He gets banned by YouTube for breaking their rules, by the way.
My thumbnails are better.
Kanye West with anti-Semitism and what the whole purpose of it is, which I've talked about for years and years before this censorship stuff became so crazy.
He's a total anti-Semite, by the way.
The climate agenda, all this stuff is really
Kanye or this dude?
So if you're somebody who hasn't seen
both.
Yes.
Two of them, please make sure you sub to both. New content going up today, tomorrow.
What's the Snuggie Bear?
Really important stuff, and then of course the stuff with.
Isn't that like the robot chicken or like?
There was a mascot for like Downy fabric softener back in like the 80s, like called like the Snuggle Bear or Snuggie Bear or something.
Trying to destroy this country and blame it on you.
Robot Chicken actually did a funny parody of that.
The links are below. Please stop the video now. Make sure you click the subscribe of the channel.
Snuggles.
As well as the notification.
Snuggles, yeah.
Over there. And again, a reminder for those of you who haven't checked out my website, a call for.
Yeah, most of this is just him plugging his shit. He's like
uploaded a video about the triple-demic.
Sorry.
I don't know where the triple-demic. It's the new pandemic.
Is this all it is? Actually, I'm sorry if it is.
Respiratory virus, the flu, and.
He hasn't uploaded to this channel in forever. Let me see if a time for a judgment. That's probably his actual channel on YouTube.
Very important for them to get a certain something inside of your body, and I've talked about that for a couple of years now. Why that has to be inside of you? Not familiar? What they want to hook you up to?
Okay, yeah.
Check out the website at callfornuprising.com.
Yeah, but this is definitely more up Dave's alley.
It's a really good way to just have a website of like-minded people.
Where did this artwork come from?
You know, plans in place, what they're going to do, talking about real news that's actually going on.
Like, he's no different than Jordan Peterson, really. So I don't see like
pretty much anything that you.
All right wingers
he covers news.
All right wingers are the same. They're all cut from the same cloth. They're all doing the same shtick. That's why, like, I couldn't be a right winger because I can't even think like that. I don't understand where he's coming from.
I guarantee you, he's breaking rules with his Nancy Pelosi video.
Oh, I don't want to do Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, don't watch that one because he's gonna break rules on that one, and he's gonna get shadow banned. Well then, okay. I don't know. I want to critique a chud who's trying to sound smart, like that Elon podcast interview.
I think I've got just the shit for you then. Here we go.
I lost
how
my
would
shit
you? How
with the
would
Elon
you?
Musk thing.
Oh, you want to talk about Elon?
Just for a second, because like, so I've actually studied systems engineering. It's something I'd like to do. I also deal with electronics engineering. So a lot of what Elon said about rockets that he was asked about shows that he doesn't actually design the rockets, and I don't even think he understands how rocket engineering works. He said 3 critical things. One of them applies to all rockets. One of them is just true for any system, and the other one he didn't use right at all. So the first one he said was that the rocket becomes more efficient with the higher pressure that you can put in there. There's some other stuff that he added to it. All of that was true, but the actual, like, he was asked about the Raptor engines, which have spin engines and the ability to rapid restart. Those are the truly incredible things about the engine, but he never even mentioned that because he doesn't understand why that's cool.
But he's not an engineer. Like
He's the chief engineer. He calls himself the chief engineer.
He calls himself that. He's not an engineer. Like I didn't know.
But he signs off. He signs off on all the projects.
I
Justin.
didn't know that this was news to you. Hold on, like
no.
What is his education?
I just want to riff. I do just want to riff, because then he said the most incredible thing to me that any rocket scientist I've ever heard has ever said, that his rockets use feedback loops to control themselves.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't have a degree in engineering. He just has a regular BS.
So I've understood feedback loops for about 5 years, and I've been studying engineering for about that long, because that's the first thing you learn about in systems engineering and how to control things. So yeah, everything that is controlled by a system uses feedback loops. That's how it works. There's exceptions, but I don't want to get into that. And then finally, he used the term, and I sometimes say it wrong. Okay, now I can't think of the term. Asymptomatic limits. When he was describing the economics of like rocket logistics and stuff like that. So here's the thing. He did not use it right. I'm not going to get into what an asymptomatic limit is. He would have been better off using terms like poles and zeros, but either way, like the way he used it shows that like he learns these terms, gets really excited about like, I guess like the YouTube definition that he gets from it, and then he starts applying it to like everything else that he knows about.
Well, he is a complete fraud, always has been, and he employs people that actually know what they're fucking talking about. And he listens to them talk and fucking thinks he understands it, and he doesn't really. He is a rich person that is LARPing as everything he is. He is a like total fraud.
It makes me so mad because like I've only ever been able to have informal education and self-study, and I can either only get like probably overvalued by people who don't understand what I'm talking about, or undervalued by people who do. And so I'm kind of in that middle zone where like I'm really proud of what I've done, but I get like zero institutional recognition, if you know what I mean, like zero recognition from the system for my accomplishments. I actually have to make something first, and that's very challenging from where I'm at, coming out of poverty and stuff like that. But anyways, for Elon, it's literally just like he gets to call himself chief engineer.
He's not the founder of Tesla either. He's like, everything is a LARP. Everything about him is fake, including his hair. And that's not like,
you have no idea how insulting that is to me. You have no idea how insulting. Like, it's taken me 10 years to get to this point where like I can even understand how he's an idiot for saying that. And he gets like he has people who will probably defend him right now on Twitter saying he's an actual engineer.
Absolutely, people call him a genius all the time.
By the way, I was being sarcastic when I said he was before, because it's just so funny to me that like people believe that's true. I was almost like, to me, it's to the point of parody.
I'm just like, to me,
I just needed to riff. You don't need to. Oh,
you dissecting
I'm sorry if I left
that,
you with nothing.
But it's like, I wouldn't feel the need to try to disprove his claims just because like it's obvious he's a fraud. Like from that.
Oh no, I'm not doing it because I need to. I'm doing it because he made me very mad, and I just need to riff.
As if someone could be a fraud while successfully running all these companies. They're not successful is the problem. They are propped up by public money. They were fucking, oh man, the amount of money the U.S. government has shoveled at Elon when he was already filthy fucking rich.
The complexes that SpaceX launches rockets from, and I'm sure they pay some sort of fees and stuff like that, but those are like infrastructural wonders. If we're being honest, like the fact that they're able to launch so many rockets from such a space, and that this entire space is dedicated to it, it's probably an amazing feat to behold. And basically, Elon just gets to buy his way into that. He doesn't have to contribute to the development or anything. He's certainly not building his own. Like he has a research thing in Boca Chica. I don't know if that's shared with NASA or not. Either everything he has is shared with NASA, or like particularly his launch facilities are.
It's pretty much everything shared with NASA.
Like, I love rockets, and of course I love science, so like it's my guilty pleasure. I even watch SpaceX rockets take off, and I enjoy it. But at the same time, it's like he probably couldn't have done anything on his own. And that's what makes me mad, is I've had to do almost everything on my own. I'm lucky that I have my mentor who I work with through my mycology business, and I get a lot of resources through that, including like stuff I can use to actually make stuff. So it's great, but it's still like it's not like anything like that. And I can't fathom what it's like to be able to take, I don't know, making something like that for granted. Like, how can you take that for granted?
I saw a meme the other day that said like, it may have just been a tweet. Like, if you're CEO of 3 companies at the same time, obviously a CEO doesn't do much. And like, it's fucking true. He's just a rich kid LARPing. Affluenza. That's the word. That's exactly the word. And he is indeed our Edison.
I forget the name of the person who interviewed him, but Elon was like, "Oh, I'm chief engineer at Tesla." He's like, "Oh, really?" The person who interviewed was like surprised. And Elon's like, "Yeah, I sign off on all the projects."
Fair enough. Edison was more successful. Reverse thread, bringing in the facts. Edison actually didn't turn his products to shit. He just stole the ideas.
Edison was more about like applying practical sciences, where Tesla was more about applying theoretical sciences.
Amazingly enough. Oh, go on.
No, please. I should have. I was pretty much done there.
Oh no! Like, what was the point you were making?
Oh, just simply that, like, if you notice that, like, it did take a while for Tesla's stuff to actually become more popular. It's because a lot of his stuff had to be more thoroughly researched before it could be implemented in like a consumer scale.
The popularity of Tesla is, I think he's bought that as well.
Yes, but I think Nikolai Tesla was a true genius.
Oh, are you talking about Nikolai Tesla as opposed to Tesla the company?
Tesla's, yeah. No, I thought that's what the chatter meant, is that like if you compare like Nikolai Tesla to Edison just did more for like our infrastructure and our society.
Yes.
And it took a while for technology to realize that what Tesla was talking about it wasn't just theoretical but also practical.
Yes, I also like.
Especially
I don't know
laboratory
shit about this.
Oh man, cathode ray tubes, man. Not really like directly linked to Tesla, but like everything that we've built from that kind of like technology is just
I mean, that's how we got TVs
and many other things. I want to nerd out and I want to just like nerd dump on you guys, but I can't. I like it will never end. You said you had something for me, and I'm trying to open that up. I'm trying to I don't know how to segue, so. Damn it, Justin! I'm a streamer, not a broadcaster.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I said I wanted to watch a chud who's trying to sound smart, so I could react to them. And you're like, "Oh, I've got just the thing for you."
Yes. I mean,
you really are a stoner. Holy shit.
Yeah, fucking nerd dump. Curiouser wants you to nerd dump.
Well, I derailed myself. Come on.
Now we put her on the spot.
Yeah, like before it was conscious streaming. Now it's just like I'm faking it and I'm a phony. I was really looking forward to watching some sort of video. Do you want to just see like what's come out recently on Dark Horse, or I don't know? Like you said news, and you said you had something.
Have you never seen this show before?
I'm not trying to force your hand. But you said like I can't. I don't know what you had for me. So
I mean, I usually take care of the content on my shows.
Yeah. So what do you got for me?
Well, I mean, like, I was just
we demand content. We demand. Come on, chat. I know you're on my team. You're on my team, not Justin's. Cancel Justin, and if he doesn't provide content.
Cancel Justin, indeed. I don't know. I'm just here. I'm hanging out. I'm smoking pot with you.
Well, I obviously derailed whatever you had in mind, so. Just like, yeah, like every time
indeed.
And like that's the thing is like before Elon, it was Jordan Peterson for me. Like every time I would see someone who even looks remotely like him, I'd get like that like anger response, like, "Oh my God, it's Jordan Peterson." And I think part of that was like so many people covered him, but also because like that was at a time where like I was particularly studying genetics and evolution and transitioning because I was starting my transition. And so I knew that like a lot of the stuff he was starting to say about the science of transgendering that wasn't being covered as much was wrong. And I was very mad at him. Like I wanted to like get him to talk to him and be like, "No, you're wrong." Like shake the guy, right? Like not violently, but like get like wake him up a bit. And it's like, I like
as a clinical psychologist, he should know he's wrong on that. But I mean, he's moved on to talking about philosophy, and he knows jack all about that.
I guess what I'm struggling is this is a healthy relationship.
You and Jordan Peterson is a healthy relationship, is what you're saying.
Is it? I don't think so.
You don't
Because
think
now it's Elon Musk. Elon Musk has replaced my like void that Jordan Peterson has left since he's kind of.
Was it top of your mind because like I've got a screen up over here, and not only is like one of the stories that's on the screen Elon Musk keeps popping up in the scroll of stories that it's covering. I myself try to avoid talking about Elon Musk.
That's why I'm trying to get you to put something on, because I'm terribly ADHD. Like, I'm probably an extreme case. I don't know how to measure it, but like seriously, my blood pressure is going through roller coasters.
You had said that you wanted to hear you wanted to comment on a chud, and I happened to have Kid Rock on with Bill Maher from his podcast, and I thought that was fitting for the chud thing. And then while we were doing the Elon thing, Edison was brought up, and I actually have a story about Edison that I tried to transition into that, and I was also denied.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so here's the thing. Not everything needs to be like a streamlined transition. Just go.
What I do. It's what makes me me.
Okay, but I'm technically a special guest co-host, so I'm saying let's go.
You are the special guest co-host. I'm working out the kinks of a special guest co-host format. Like, you know, it's still a new thing.
Well, I'm going to
stand up. Out how it goes.
I'm feeling oppressed because I can't particularly put anything on right now. I think you're being a demagogue, Justin.
I'm gonna need a precising definition on demagogue.
Okay, maybe tyrant is a better word.
Tyrant. I'd still might have to. Kid Rock is indeed a dipshit. Boxes aren't real.
I don't know how much more of a segue we can get at this point, other than you saying you have 2 videos for us. You might as well just play them.
I didn't say I had. I have multiple things. I have multiple just stupid things that we could partake on, and I would have.
That's all I ask.
I would have transitioned us into them. This is
day.
This is.
I had to. I'm sorry.
And now I was trying to like make a cum joke and I couldn't. It didn't come to me.
You did. I'm just too fast for you. Okay, so here's the thing. My pacing is off, and I'm a step ahead of you. And I gotta wait for you to like lay it out so I can come back with that.
Cyanide 2020. You said you patrol my YouTube comments. Did you see Cyanide's comment? Because apparently they're so fucking proud of it. They want you to comment on it. I don't even remember which fucking video it was on.
Oh, a comment in your video? No, I do not remember.
I wouldn't either. But they are very adamant about wanting you to comment on it. So hey, you wanted a chud. Let me see if I can find this for you. You even said you wanted a chud. You might have a real live one in the chat.
Oh yeah, no. Can we do call-ins?
Oh yeah, we can. Can we do call-ins? Let me go to the comment section.
I mean, like, I'm literally one of those people. Like I said, I'm trying not to be a debater as like an online presence. But if I'm streaming and someone wants to like chat with me about something, I'm all for it. Like, it's not a challenge I fear away from easily.
See if I can find this motherfucker real fast.
What's the phrase I was trying to like slink away from? Slink away from, isn't it?
Slink works.
Yeah. Fear away from doesn't work. Fear away.
Buddy, this motherfucker commented on a video like days and days ago. I've got so many comments to go through.
Yeah, like I that's why I didn't look.
This motherfucker like, show her my comments.
You could always just like repeat it.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I guess they're an anti-vaxxer. That looks like what we got going on here.
Yeah, they should call in. Really, I love it when anti-vaxxers call in.
So we were talking about Sagar and Jetty. He cited the studies that said this is from the University of Harvard and the University of Michigan, I believe it was. The studies came from. I might be getting the universities wrong, but it was one of them. One of it, they were reputable universities, but he cited them to say that the vaccine was just as effective as the previous vaccine, but these are supposed to be reformulated for the Omicron variant. I said it was, I don't know where I said patently false. I said it somewhere in the video. Why did you say that? Do you believe that by getting a booster, the relatives you sat down with at Thanksgiving dinner would, in fact, be safer because of it? Yes, that is literally what the research said. The booster is as effective as the original shot. Cyanide said, I mean, seems kind of silly to me to use the term just as effective here. That's what the research said. We're talking about something for which there would be no need if the thing it's meant to enhance was effective in the first place. So as effective doesn't inspire much confidence. I think, know what I mean. No, that made absolutely no fucking sense, you dumb fuck. But anyway, now we come at part 2 of the question at hand, which is just, this has been gobbledygook thus far. We've established that you believe you're protecting others by going to get boosted. Okay, now I want to know how exactly you think that works. Can you please describe the mechanism of protection or something to that effect? Vaccinated people don't get as sick, they aren't contagious for as long, they don't shed as large of a viral load as the unvaccinated. But you're not asking me these questions in good faith. You think you have a point and are calling me out, but you are just proving your ignorance. And then somebody else responded. So do you want to call in? Do you want to talk to... I'll even bow out. I'll let you just talk to Ninetails. Ninetails wants to argue with you.
I have some things to say already.
Okay, go ahead.
Not directly on like how the vaccines work, because as much as I'd love to nerd dump again, this reminds me a lot of the mask controversy and the size of the particles versus the size of the pores, and them saying, oh, well, the pore size isn't right to actually catch the particles, so therefore it doesn't do anything at all.
Yep.
And that turned out to be completely false. Masks do things. They don't prevent things 100%. Why? Because they don't seal around the face, and some particles do end up being too small. Some. When it comes to the vapor that comes from our lungs, the particle size can vary greatly. They can be what's considered to be like microscopic particles that basically stay in the air as long as there's airflow, all the way up to larger particles, which will fall out of the air within like the first 6 feet. So when we first studied COVID, we largely observed the larger particles, and so that's where the 6-foot rule came from and stuff like that. But it turns out that there can still be viral loads within smaller water droplets that can be carried further. What masks do is not necessarily catch every single particle. They reduce the distance of that a water droplet can go, because the flow from your well, let's just say from your lungs out to the open air is severely restricted. So therefore, so the two key terms are laminar and turbulent flow here. If you had laminar flow, which is like drawing a straight line between your lungs and perhaps the lungs of somebody else who could get sick, then you're going to have the maximum amount of viral particles transmitted to the other person if you cough or something. If you have a mask in the way and you have a barrier that generates turbulent flow, that you can't. You're not going to have as much distance. You can't have as much distance. You can't put something like a mask in front of a laminar airflow and get the same rate of transmission, regardless if the pore size is like perfect or not. And this is what anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers always do. They hyper-focus on one specific thing without actually being able to explain how it refutes all of the usage of these things. Like, you can still use masks even if they're not perfect, and they will still do something. And that's why we use them. That's why a surgeon still wears a mask when he's doing surgery, even though there might be some viral particles that get through. Why? Because there's maybe 1 in 1 million particles now, instead of all of those particles being like sprayed onto the person every time they breathe.
Exactly. Thank you, Ninetails. Lady B,
So
good evening.
there's nothing that I'm reading here that actually says that we shouldn't use the boosters or the vaccine. It's like, I'm just very insecure with my understanding of vaccines.
The research showed that the vaccine is as effective as the original, which was like 70-something% effective against the wild type of COVID.
So they're comparing wild type to wild type for the booster versus the original vaccine.
Yes.
Okay.
So
The booster is probably even more effective against the variant that it's designed to operate against as well, right?
That was what the research showed, is that it didn't actually show a higher efficacy against the new variants.
Well, that's actually fine too, because it's not a lower efficacy either.
Exactly. Well, Cyanide, if you would like to say something, you can call in, or you can get in Discord.
And by the way, you're right about like the reduced amount of viral particles shed. The CDC, when they talk about how this stuff works, they don't necessarily like talking through like these steps of like, okay, if you have the vaccine, you may still get sick. But if you come in contact with another person, you're not going to be shedding as many viral particles. Therefore, they're less likely to get sick, statistically speaking. But it doesn't mean that they won't get sick. And all the anti-vaxxers focus on is, oh, you can still get sick.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but not only are you less likely to get sick, you're going to have less severe symptoms. You're less likely to clog up an ICU and less likely to die from complications. Or comorbidities is the better word.
Indeed. I'm not seeing my phone ring. I'm not seeing anybody in my Discord. It's always, every time we get somebody coming into the chat and talking shit, it's always like, oh, well, my internet's being fucky, or my roommate is sleeping. It's all fucking bullshit.
It used to be so much more common. Like it seemed to be like so easy for other streamers, and then now it's like maybe Dave gets like one every couple of weeks. We can get DM. But he doesn't open his phones. Sure, I like whatever. Calling in, just call in.
Adam Moon the Fourth, if that is your real name. NinetailsCosmicFox does indeed have nice hair.
Oh yeah, thank you. I don't do anything to make it nice. In fact, I just use a combo shampoo and conditioner today.
You use a combo shampoo and conditioner. I usually use separate.
My hair does feel like straw, actually.
It feels like
straw? I was lazy. Yeah. No, my hair, I have very thick hair. In fact, funny story. One time at science camp, and yes, I went to science camp.
I did too.
There was we were at a university and they had an electron microscope. I think it was a scanning electron microscope. And what they did is they looked at our hair, some of our hairs underneath there. I think 3 kids. And out of the 3 of us, I had the thicker hair, and my hair was almost double like the actual thickness of it. So like my hair is ridiculous. Like everyone always says like your hair's ridiculously thick, and I'm like, yes, I know. Especially hairstyles. They're like, I've never seen hair this thick before. And so when I condition it, it like soaks up those products, and I can only condition it like every other time. And I actually have to make it go back to this straw thing. Otherwise it'll get like too frizzy.
I don't know, what is he talking about tolerant? We are very tolerant. Like we're just chilling. Like if you come in here and like start running your mouth, like what the like if you're killing the vibe, man, come in and read the room. We are very cool. You can chill with us, and if you wanted to argue, we even gave you that option. You just gotta do it on the phone or in the Discord. And you're still welcome to hop in either of them. Even if
at least we know.
Even if they've banned you over on YouTube.
At least we know that if I've intimidated them by being very informed on the issue, they would say it in your chat and not just make up excuses.
Oh,
We can be sure about that.
Oh, yeah. I assume that's sarcasm.
I assume so too. I can't be sure.
I can't be sure either. I've loved having you on though. This has been fun. Do you want to see Kid Rock on Bill Maher? Is that chuddish enough for you? Well, I'm like, what chud level were you looking for exactly? And does that meet the chud?
No,
level?
that's great.
Okay.
There was the other thing you mentioned too, where Edison came up. So if that's similar, it might be more interesting to talk about Edison because I do like electricity.
Once again, this is the Freak Show. We kind of stick with odd stories. So
Kid Rock is the otter ball of the.
Well, the Edison story isn't exactly something where we would learn something. It's kind of an odd quirk that Edison had.
Was it like the dark side of Edison?
No. This is we try to. It's the Freak Show. I didn't give you a good idea of the type of.
Yeah, I'm going with Kid Rock.
You
do.
We'll do both. We'll do both here. We'll do both. Okay, so
fine.
we were gonna do a chuddish video. So this is Kid Rock on with Bill Maher. Kid Rock apparently gives Bill Maher a gift that changes his life.
Oh, by the way, I got you a gift.
Well,
I think you're gonna
really?
like this.
A gift?
I see you already got some good ones. I didn't know about them, but
oh, oh my God, I love it. The My Pillow
they said it
guy.
might be on camera.
That is so awesome.
Isn't that the best?
Oh my God.
To his credits, when they fucking FBI went after him, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy some of this guy's shit.
You know.
Okay, so now that's
Mike Pillow.
We've added Mike Pillow to the equation here, so that made it even more chuddish. Give me 1 second. Let me pull the let me pull my Mike Lindell graphic up. Where is I Was on Crack? We gotta have Mike Lindell on here.
But that's not the whole thing, though, is it?
No, we're gonna go back to
Okay.
it. I just needed to get Mike Lindell on Crack on screen.
Okay, so I'm just gonna describe it for my screen. It's like a Mike
I was on
Lindell
crack.
cutout.
Right.
Oh, they can't see what's going on.
Pillow. Yeah.
Yes, it is a Mike Lindell cutout over here. Are they getting audio?
My chat should be getting audio now. I don't. Yeah, I see it.
I got that one.
I don't know how I
got a Bob Ross too.
I don't know how I got either one of them, but that's true of so many things in this room. I just don't. I can't remember.
By the
where I
way,
got
his
it.
fucking sheets are not. I'm a fucking stickler on towels.
I believe that Kid Rock has worn many a sheet in his life. That's a Klan reference, by the way.
Yeah.
Good Betty.
Oh. I thought it was a reference to being a rock star.
Clippers were pretty decent, but the sheets are not bad. And I'm kind of a fucking spoiled little fucking when it comes to like good sheets and towels.
Whenever
And shit.
I can't get to sleep, I always blame the pillow.
Really
I think
appreciate
that's
that they're stain resistant.
I think that's an older kind of way of referring to the Klan, and also like I'm from an area where the Klan was still prevalent when I was a child.
Right.
But like even like Michael Jackson in Black or White, he's like, I ain't afraid no sheets, and he's talking about like the Klan.
Oh,
So like,
I see.
but then again, Kid Rock's also a rich boy from outside Detroit, so.
Well, and then the next day when I get to sleep, it's like, oh, what happened to the pillow problem? So I don't think it's the pillow. But you know what? I'm not going to quibble about Trump.
Yeah, we could do the whole hour on
It's
Trump.
stupid.
But why?
It's-
You don't like him, I
but-
do.
but-
Let's move on.
Exactly.
I don't. By the way, I don't like Donald Trump.
I've been
I
saying.
fucking love Donald Trump.
Whoa. He had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie there. I don't like Donald Trump. Fucking love Donald Trump.
Because I've been saying
I thought he was gonna be nuanced
a lot.
right after saying I like him and you don't.
The biggest
Oh, I kind of would have liked to heard more of that. So, was it a good idea for Bill Maher to do a podcast? That's the first question. This is like the 5th or 6th episode he had Kid Rock on. He's had Dave Rubin on.
It's a thing he could do?
It's a thing you can do.
I have no idea. I have no commentary on this. I'm sorry. If he's only going to be like interviewing people like Kid Rock, like we already have enough Joe Rogan wannabes, so.
Exactly. But that seems like that's what he's trying to do. It's called Club Random. That was the name of the podcast he put out. Club Random.
I like my name for my podcast better, The Intellectual Dark Left.
I do enjoy that name.
It's
now,
catchy.
I think my Friday Night Freak Show was more of a Club Random than Bill Maher. This was the Edison story I was referring to. Edison actually bit his piano. Do you want to know why Thomas Edison bit his piano?
Tuning.
He was hard of hearing, so Thomas Edison found a unique way to appreciate the piano music. As someone played the piano, the great inventor, great is their word, not mine, would lean in close to the instrument, right above the keys, and he'd bite the piano, pressing his teeth into the wood of the phonographs and pianos. Helped Edison experience the vibration in his skull, or in his own words, it allowed him to hear through his teeth.
It makes sense.
Is that an interesting fact that you learned here tonight on the Friday Night Free Show?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Like, go back in time specifically and see him, like, biting the piano while he plays it.
How could you... Okay, if I'm playing the piano, I wouldn't want somebody right above me, like, on the wood. Did you guys see the pictures? That is the bite marks on Edison's piano right there. But, like...
I guess that's something you can only do if you're, like, semi-famous or powerful.
As a musician, I wouldn't think you would want somebody over your shoulder biting on the piano if you're trying to play. It would really distract me.
What if it was their kink, though?
The piano player's kink or Edison's kink?
I'd say the piano players, because Edison does have a legit excuse.
But how... Okay, so do you put an ad in a newspaper if you're Thomas Edison, needing someone who is sexually turned on by having me hover over them and bite a piano?
No, I picture it like you're playing at a party and Thomas Edison's like leaning in close and you're like, dude, what's up? You look really drunk or something. And Edison's like, no, I just can't hear very well. And it's like, maybe you could bite it.
Would you say that again?
Love from there. No, I can't.
Say it again. No,
I can't say it
no.
without laughing now. No.
You did it so perfectly. It was so sensual. I was almost a little turned on by it. Shit.
Yeah, no, I had to put myself into the role, and I'm just not in the role anymore. You took me out of it.
Piano nibblers on Reddit.
I was almost thinking like it could be tuning, like maybe like some of the pieces were like wooden, and he wanted to have like a sound, like the sound that sounded right to him, so he would like modify them by like nibbling on them, like the resonance maybe.
That's an interesting thought process. I'm not into biting at all. I don't like pain. You wanna try something else over the list over here? Let me see.
If you got a list, I've got time. You can decide when to cut it off. It's your show at the end of the day.
I have this story about these two kids that murdered their Spanish teacher over a bad grade. And I want to laugh at it, but probably if I pulled it up, it'd be very sad. It'd be very. I wanted to do it as a freaking news and put Buenos Tardes Amigo under it, but I felt like the audience that listens to Ween is too small for that to like actually catch on.
Yeah, sometimes like the serving of dark humor with light humor, like it's very hard for some people to grasp the satire.
I did a freaking news one time about houses burning down during a fire in the Northwest, and I used the I used the Tom Jones version of burning down the house. It's originally by the Talking Heads. I used the Tom Jones version, and several people thought that was very insensitive of me. But controversy creates cash. That's what, like, I think a lot of right-wing content now is just, like, as outrageous as it can be, just to get us to fucking look at it. Kind of like, this dude that's upset about frog pronouns.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the dude's rant about how frog pronouns pushed him over the edge?
Totally. His shirt looks like a frog pattern. I'm already going to point that out. Like the leopard frogs.
I'm interested.
How do you
Way.
Frogs, pronouns, and sentences, so let's go.
Yeah, that's it. I'm Republican now. You win. I'm done. I can't do it, right? I'm accepting, tolerant, inclusive.
I don't know what this other video is. She seems fine to me. What's wrong with her?
I'm gonna be
I love her outfit.
sentences, so let's go.
Yeah, that's.
Why is she even... I don't even know what she's talking about with frog pronouns, and we didn't get enough of her video to know what she meant by frog pronouns.
But let me put it this way. If you have a friend and you know them well enough to know that like they're a frog otherkin most likely or a frog furry, and it's probably a very personal thing to use those pronouns, like you know someone well enough to use that. And it's just in place of he, she, and they, them, or their, whatever, right? So like frog and frogs.
I am sure whatever she was saying was perfectly reasonable, but this dude didn't give us enough of it to be able to formulate our own opinion. But apparently, just that one thing, the idea of a frog pronoun, has turned him completely into a Republican, which kind of means that, he was a chud all along.
That's it. I'm Republican now. You win. I'm done. I can't do it, right? I'm accepting, tolerant, inclusive.
Are you?
Right. Whatever gender you want to identify as, binary, non-binary, but not going to call people frogs. We draw the line at infant.
I mean, they probably don't want you to if you're uncomfortable doing that, to be honest.
Because you're not a frog, right? You know that, though, right? You
They
were
probably do.
in a Disney movie.
Yeah, it's like...
Well, that's debatable.
Top lily pad to lily pad. Right.
I don't know.
Call you frogs or frog cell.
Like, remember when you asked me why I identify with as a fox, Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Republican.
It could have been Disney. It might have been Disney. The Fox and the Hound. I don't know. Just saying.
Oh.
It was.
I mean, I don't understand any of this because, like, people call Robert Zimmerman Bob Dylan. People call fucking Steve Borden Sting. Like that's their fucking names. People call Cher. Fucking like I don't understand why having some sort of surname that you go by. People call me JustinFREAKIN and have no problem doing it. What the fuck? So I don't understand what this idea is that you can't call somebody by whatever the fuck they want to be called.
Well, it's basically they're reactionary is the real word, right? It's like anything that's too progressive for them, they have to be the gatekeepers that hold society together because this is just too far. It's too far, and they have to be a conservative now.
I don't see anything that's inherently political about this issue. Like, fucking people have adopted surnames for fucking years and years and years and years. Go even in the Bible. Saul of Tarsus became Paul and shit. Fucking this concept it shouldn't be foreign to these people. Scuba divers are called frogmen. Fair enough. Sailors are called seamen.
So I have found that a lot of people who consider themselves trans allies will also be the sort of people who will say, this is when trans people are asking for too much because it makes me uncomfortable. So they're generally comfortable with trans people and the idea of accepting them, but they'll also like suddenly become gatekeepers. Like, well, if we let them participate in sports, then they might prove the right wingers are correct about them having an advantage, and then everything is ruined. And that totally goes against like us actually being able to prove ourselves in the field that we're not a threat, but whatever. But I've actually heard people like leftists, quote unquote, trans allies, quote unquote, say those lines as an argument trying to defend trans people, because in their minds, like, they don't understand how like you can oppress somebody just by just by not understanding something and being uncomfortable with it. It might seem like, okay, well, I'm not thinking like I'm going to oppress this person, but why? Like, let's look at it the other way around. Why do you have to determine if that's valid or not? What sort of expertise do you have to say that this is impossible for this person to have this identity?
I mean, this goes back. This is an old adage, like, who died and made you king, motherfucker.
And there are so many people with the trans sports debate who will take debates on positions of like what they want to be true and have zero expertise of how it actually worked. The only person I've seen have an informed debate was Jangle's Science Lad versus Destiny, and Jangles blew Destiny out of the fucking water because he knew his shit.
I don't know who that is. I'll have to look them up.
Oh, definitely look up Jangles. He's one of my favorite science leftist streamers. He mostly covers trans and gay issues because he's gay.
Well, fair enough.
Just context, not like trying to virtue signal or anything.
I think the biggest virtue signal are the people who like wear the American flag on their shirt. They wrap themselves in the flag. They hold up their crosses, but like they don't actually believe in Jesus. They don't walk the walk. They don't talk the talk. They don't believe in the principles of the U.S. as I understood them. That's virtue signaling to me. That's...
Yeah, it seems like I've just noticed that there's a lot of overlap with like religious people and just being like really judgmental. Especially like I've met a lot of religious people who are actually probably like good faith, like in like faith, if you know what I mean. But like they're also just people like it's kind of like the suburbanites who are only religious because it's an identity for them.
Oh, they exist. Like good religious people that actually follow the tenets of Jesus, they totally exist. I've known, I've had one on the Troll Patrol, but like they're not the majority.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately.
But on the other hand, the religion itself is the majority. So if you identify with it, you suddenly have the privilege of the majority. So it's kind of like if you give up like any sort of free thought you have, then you suddenly have access to a society privilege that is, you know, kind of harder to achieve in like the workplace or something like that. All you have to do is profess a lot of faith.
I totally believe it's a cop-out that people use, that especially when people fuck up, they'll go like, oh, I sought Jesus and he's forgiven me. That is fucking bullshit. But anyway, like, you want to do one more story and then we'll raid out to producer Dave?
Sounds good. I'm going to also be playing some GTA afterwards, but do not raid to me because I'm going to be raiding to HK.
Fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question. Do you want to talk about balls?
Yeah.
All right. You're okay with talking about balls?
I don't even care if it's like just sports balls or like testicles. I'm all for it.
It was gigantic balls on the streets of London. Balls. Multiple balls. I think that car just wrecked because of it.
So those are probably hollow at least, but they're clearly made of metal.
I'm not exactly sure what they are. I guess they're more than balloons, aren't they?
Chances are the process involved taking a bunch of pieces that were probably really thick. Like, you know, to get something that heavy, it'd need to be thick. But
Indiana Jones
they
loose
welded
in
them
London.
together. They welded them together, kind of like the rind of an orange, and then yeah. Does that one light up? Why it looks white to me? I don't know.
So yeah, like they've got a coating on them. Like you can see the coating coming off.
Okay.
If we go back to like the first one here, like you see that it's silver at the beginning. Yeah, there it is. And then like it's got some kind of coating on it.
So what is it actually in there? That's so weird.
I think it's some sort of giant plastic ball, maybe. Maybe it was a Christmas decoration. This happened Wednesday.
This is what happens when you set up your Christmas decorations too early.
Exactly. The balls are running amok. I've got big balls. She's got big. That's just what it made me think of, the AC/DC song.
There's probably a lot of songs that refer to balls that we could think of. My brain is the worst at coming up with those.
Anybody
that's
think
why
of ball songs?
I'm always the silent one when everyone's like coming up with references to someone. I'm just sitting there like, that's all really funny, yeah. I don't have anything to contribute.
Oh. But you are excellent at commenting on shots.
Oh, thank you.
What have you?
If I don't nerd dump people into extinction.
No, the chat very much enjoyed the nerd dump. What have you learned tonight on the Freak Show?
Oh, I had something earlier. I've learned that Republicans happen when people use frog pronouns. That's the only reason we have Republicans, because people have frog pronouns.
First, they turned the frogs gay. And then they turned the frogs trans, apparently.
And then the frogs turn into people, and then Republicans.
Well,
question mark, profit.
So if you kiss the frog, does it turn into a prince, though? Because this is back to the Disney thing.
Well, that's how we got Alex Jones. So you decide from there.
Somebody kissed a frog, and that's how we got Alex Jones.
Doesn't it make sense, actually, if you think about it?
Got a big old bowl of chili.
He's kind of like a bullfrog. Yeah.
I think that's somewhat insulting to bullfrogs, but we'll let you we'll let you slide on that one. Come on, you must have a love for bullfrogs.
Animals are innocent. Animals are innocent.
The bullfrogs are innocent in this. And you had to slander them by trying to compare them to Alex Jones.
When they're invasive, though, they can be pretty bad. They're voracious.
I'm not touching any of that. We're not touching any of that. It's too late at night to touch.
It's all over you already. I dumped it. You're like covered in eco slime now.
I'm covered in eco slime. Well, thank you very much. NinetailsCosmicFox, please tell the people where they can find you. Give your plugs and all that good shit. You're gonna be playing GTA right after this. If somebody would rather have a gaming stream than Conspiracy Bingo over on Echoplex.
Yeah, I'm NinetailsCosmicFox, low profile gamer, I guess, but also political / science streamer, twitch.tv/NinetailsCosmicFox. Let me just explain. It's all spelled out, the 9, the tails, and the Cosmic Fox. The tails is like the tail of a fox, not like a storybook tale, just because people have asked, so I have to do that. And here's the fun part. Now I'm going to plug my Twitter. My Twitter is at M9Scarlet. That's the letter M, the number 9, and Scarlet with 2 T's. So if you're not confused, you can find me there.
Let me go get your Twitter, and I will drop it in the chat.
Yeah, because apparently
you are an excellent Twitter follow.
I was gonna say curious or geez, like can't just do like a shout out, but they did. They're great. I'm gonna also shamelessly. Oh wait, no, I'm not allowed to put. No, I can't put links because I'm mod, right?
Yes.
I can put my Twitter into the
I got
YouTube.
it. I got it. Oh, you're gonna put it into the YouTube too? I put your Twitch down there.
I don't know if you beat me to it or if like my thing lagged. I thought I pressed entered before your thing was up.
Oh, you were trying to race me.
Yeah.
Ma'am, it was a pleasure having you on here this evening.
It was so fun being on. Thank you for having me.
If you are watching on Twitch, we're going to raid Echoplex Media, producer Dave. Yeah, I am totally not getting into whatever the fuck is going on in chat over there.
I might pop in just to see.
There's some bullshit going on. Somebody might need to get banned if I need to review this.
Oh, cool. I'm a mod. Let me do it.
Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. She's NinetailsCosmicFox. We'll see you guys later.